super big following too. It's like 2 or 3 grand, 10 times the people watching him live that I do here on this channel. Yeah, so definitely go check that out if you haven't already. Yeah, no, that would be an awesome discussion. Yeah, I know. He's a good dude though, and I'm glad that he reinstated my account, and because I was banned on there after that for a while, but it wasn't him; it was his mod, and I may have deserved it, so apologize for that. But sometimes we get a little carried away, right?
Oh, cool! It's working. It's live streaming on my channel too. Cool.
And we get some people get carried away in the live chat here too, and that's all right, man. That's what we open it up for that sort of thing. Sometimes
human nature.
It's a fun time. So we can all laugh and make fun of human nature, right? And if you can't, you're not learning from it. So I'm glad that he has a sense of humor and was not, didn't hold a grudge about that, because I didn't mean any of those comments personally. It was just more my way of nudging you into giving me an interview. Because anyways, yeah, that would be great, man. Dark journalist, respect for this dude's work, and I didn't mean to schedule my stream at the same time as yours
with national.
So apologize for that, brother. Definitely an awesome channel. What else is on right now? Bob Lazar on Truth Seekers live right now. Oh, Ashton Forbes is live right now. Still killing it.
Class.
Look, he's got more people watching him than we have over here.
Right, I know. Ashton's been doing some crazy work. It's tough to. I think it's still legit. Like there just seems to be harder and harder attempts to debunk, and then it seems that every second day they debunk the debunks. So I really don't know what to make of it. But
here's what I make of it, right? Is that we've come accustomed to this culture of cancel culture, right? That's what we have, is this cancel culture, that we have this culture that's like, oh, well, so and so investigated this and that's been debunked, and now we need to blacklist this person and never talk about this again. And I've been encouraged, not to talk about this again, and it's kind of like why I've been rolling my eyes when you bring it up randomly. And I'm like, all right, I guess we could talk about this, because I don't want to drive a wedge in the whole movement. We've got so much like potential going right now. We've got all these people behind the UAPDA, behind disclosure, behind catastrophic disclosure, and I don't want to drive a wedge in those people, because he's got more people following him than I have over here. And if I go and you know what I mean, I'm not going to be the one to. It's not up to me to say if it's real or fake or not, and it's not
exactly. We're just sharing a story.
The thing is, the government consistently and constantly avoids investigations and doing real investigations and opening committees on a whole variety of topics. It's not just MH370. And yes, there's money to investigate all these things. There was, we had a couple $100 million that were investigated. Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky's form there. So there's
the blatant denial and misrepresentation from government officials that we put our trust in. It's almost so prolific now that you have to ask yourself, is this an intentional part of the training?
It's the oldest
where
story,
literally
right?
The denial acts as a catalyst to get us to look in all the wrong directions, because we think, well, something must be more interesting when somebody's not talking about it than what we really should be looking at, which is probably far more obvious and less able to be hidden. But maybe we just simply shouldn't be paying attention to that, because there's these mysteries that they can create endless rabbit holes for, that we can trudge down and give up our time with absolutely no hope in sight of ever reaching an end destination, since there never was one to begin with.
Yeah, everything's a lie. The people are a problem for the government. We're not the sort of root and branch that we should be. We're a problem to be managed. So they'll always lie to us.
Yeah, especially those of us who ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
You stinkers looking in my garage, looking in my shed, trying to figure out what I'm...
Don't go in the dark places.
But Jeremy, if it's up to you, but if you want back on your channel for the sake of just sharing the information, but I believe next Sunday I've got Ashton scheduled again, at least on my channels, as I do feel he should have the right to share his story and update the information.
Well, I haven't heard from him in a while since he was on my channel last, so I would love to jump on and cross the streams Ghostbusters style.
Absolutely. So I will confirm that with him then and let him know that you're down for the part. And next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
And you folks in the back room, we see you. You're not being ignored. Just
Who are you
about a
discussing?
minute here.
Yeah, we see you guys. What's up? I'm gonna bring some more people on. Hopefully they don't drop anything too sensitive.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So I wanted to ask you guys if you ever heard of the whistleblower JP talking about he was allegedly a Space Force whistleblower that Michael Sala does an interview with him, and he talks about the ARC project. You ever hear of that?
I haven't. I never believe these ex-Space Force guys.
Yeah, you know what, anything when Michael Sala touches is, I would just be very, very careful. He's a few times he's done some interesting reporting and stuff, but
right. But I can give you something even more interesting
with them, but there's like that 10 or 15% like real truth that somehow sneaks out through these. So could be one of those. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Can't find it.
Here's how this relates.
The private chat.
That story kind of relates to me. See, that story basically came out in 2021, and I've had this phenomenon follow me around since '92. So 2 years ago, 2021, I decided to just get a night vision camera and some equipment and start recording this stuff, because you can only tell us a story till people say, well, prove it. So back then I recorded this thing I called it Astro Train, right, because it looked like a flying cargo train in the sky, and it had this giant rectangular light bar on the bottom with these black windows in it. And as this thing was moving through the clear sky, it was actually spraying out a fog or some kind of gas around the entire craft, okay, as it was traveling through the sky. So after I saw that, I drew a picture down, and I posted it on YouTube, and I was trying to see if I could find more of the same type thing. Well, little after that, I heard this story about JP and how he was talking about how they're unearthing these things and finding them all around the world, and how they're starting to turn on. And he was saying that this craft is non-human craft, and it's basically, they call it the ARC project because it's basically an arc where he states that it has a bunch of plants and seeds and all sorts of other life forms in it. He was talking about it has pods in there and all sorts of weird stuff. And it's basically to save humanity and life itself, right? So what I found interesting is that when he said that they started turning on is basically the same time I recorded it. I recorded the same thing. And ever since then, the past 2 years, they've been popping up all around the world. And I made a compilation video of this same craft that I recorded. It looks exactly the same in every recording, all around the world. And like this last summer here, one was recorded in China, and it was actually sitting in the sky, like not moving. And the people of China called it the sky train, because they said it looks like a train, that's just sitting there. They've actually had people try to chase this thing down with drones. And I've been trying to get the footage of this thing.
Is the spray
trying to get
is it glittery?
Yeah.
Is it glittery and shining?
What's that?
Is the spray glittery and shining?
No, the spray is like a gray color, but like I said, the lower half of this craft, it's got this bright light, like it's white, super bright. It's basically like to see the windows, I had to squint my eyes because it was so bright. But the weird thing is I captured it on 2 cameras, and the one night vision camera turns out to be this purple color, while the cell phone camera looks like a dull gray color, and it doesn't even match the color
Well,
when
night
I saw.
vision changes color, so that's understandable.
Do you happen to have
So I've been
videos accessible for us to load and play and share by chance?
Yeah, of course. Just go to sightings on 18 wheels. One of the first, I think, 3 or 4 videos that pop up, you'll see it says Astro Train with pictures on there. You might want to mute the sound or the volume though, but this craft, it basically was like it looked like a elongated upside down T, where the light, it was actually wider than the craft itself that was on top of the light. And then as it got right in front of me, I could physically see the spray being sprayed around the craft as it was traveling through the sky. And
How far
the
away
odd
do you
thing
think
was,
the location of the spray was from you?
yeah, like I said, I could see the color of the spray. It was gray going through the white light. The top of the craft had like a glow to it. It was almost like a bluish glow.
Did you investigate the
And
ground?
no, I don't even know how far it was away from me. I mean, it could have been 3 blocks away, or it could have been right outside our atmosphere. I don't know, but all I know is the thing was huge. But I know the same night I recorded it, somebody 25 minutes away from me recorded the same thing, and they had a pair of binoculars, and they happened to look almost underneath the thing, and they said it had these metallic orbs on the bottom of it. I think no, that's not the video. I'm sorry. It should be labeled. Let's see. Let's go down. It should be labeled. It should say Astro Train. Maybe. Oh wait, go back up.
Use a search.
Right there, Astro Train of pictures. Yeah, just take the sound off. Yeah, I've been trying to contact you, Jeremy, for a while now about this thing, because I know a couple months ago you were talking about how about a craft, producing some sort of force field around it, and that's exactly what this looked like. It looked like it was like basically it was. I'm no scientist or anything, but it looked like it was using the light to lift the craft up from its smoke it was pumping out. Yeah, it'll come up right here. It'll show up. There it is, the pink thing there. But yeah, what I could see with my own eyes, though, how the spray was spraying out, it was kind of like a pressure washer. Like if you had a pressure washer and you were holding it in front of you and you were walking through the mist.
Nice catch, man.
The only difference with this was it was spraying to a point instead of being sprayed or fanned out.
Oh, there was no, so it wasn't tapered. It was a straight line.
Wow, that is super interesting, the way that thing just slowly drifts through the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you play it in slow motion, you can actually see the fog go around it, like it's kind of tumbling around it.
Yeah, let's shoot back and take a look at that.
And
This
is the cell phone footage. Now you see how different it is between the cell phone camera and the night vision camera.
What was the night vision hardware?
Yeah, it almost looks like a traveling wave at the surface now with the cell camera.
Yeah, that's basically it was basically riding its own wave, basically.
Yeah, it's really looking a lot kind of like that.
And you can see how it's fluttering right there. Now, if
Yeah,
you
that could
slow
be
it down,
zooming in.
you can really
plus
see the.
Image quality.
Now the crazy thing is all the other ones I put in the compilation video, they all look the exact same as my cell phone footage right here. They all have the fluttering effect. And then one of the videos, you can actually see where the light bar is actually white, and you can see the black windows inside the light.
The fluttering
It's
effect
super
could be
crazy.
image artifacts. What was it like to the naked eye?
It was like a metallic.
Did it still have the
Almost
fluttering?
looked like it looked like a DeLorean, right? That sat outside for like 40 years. It was kind of blackened, stainless steel looking, and it had these
Like old
vertical black
gunmetal.
lines.
And I can't
Yeah,
believe how
yeah.
continuous looking the night vision is. And so let's say this thing is, traveling wave, and we're looking at sort of, a frame difference in the low exposure time and lower light sensitivity for the cell cam footage, right? But we're looking at this other long exposure night vision. Well, the thing about the night vision cam is that it does an averaging function for all the photons hitting that high sensitivity screen that's looking
It
at a
depends on
longer
the
wavelength,
hardware,
right?
though. Is it light amplification or is it infrared? What was the hardware for the night vision?
Right, light amplification, right? It's probably the V3. So what it basically means is that you have this thing called this ISO function, which is how much light you're amplifying in your digital side, and you also have the shutter speed, which is how long your shutter is open versus the total amount of time it takes to measure a frame. So if you measure 1/30th of a second at 30 frames per second, then you have 100% shutter. And
what night vision hardware were you using?
Well,
then we'll actually know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I was using a Cyanix 720p color night vision camera, and then the camera was a Samsung.
Right, have to look up the specs of that.
What I'm trying to suggest here is, does it not look like that perhaps from the cell phone footage, it might be a pulsed type of drive that may be sequentially pulsed, whereas the night vision tends to average all of it together, and it looks like it's sort of a continuous glow, but it might not actually be a continuous glow. It could actually be pulse driven along, the linear sequential array.
Yeah. From what I saw with my eyes, it was the light was continuously on. It never shut off the whole time I saw it. When I first saw the craft come in, it actually looked orange and red. It almost looked like a fireball coming in. But then as it got closer, it looked like it turned more grayish, whitish gray, and it looked like it was traveling in a fog cloud, basically.
Right. So no
as it got,
did it ever look like it was blinking or flickering just a little bit, or it was just a completely steady state looking light source?
Yeah, it was just a steady light, and that light, like I say, it was on the bottom of the thing. So in the cameras, it's hard to see the top half of the structure, but the structure was tall. It was totally vertical. There was no signs of. I didn't see any signs of propulsion at all, other than the light and the spray that was being sprayed around it.
It's a little strange, just the appearance of the recording from the cell phone from your Samsung there, where it doesn't seem to be quite as continuous, and you almost get the scrolling shutter-like effect, as if it's blinking at a frequency that's above what you can visibly see with your eyes.
Yeah, even when it wasn't zoomed in.
Yeah, and then there's another video I have on the channel too, where I wanted you to take a look at also, where it says UFO beaming a light down on the trees. Now that
like something good.
Yeah, that video there, we could not see the beam as we recorded the craft go by, or whatever the light was. It was upon review after the thing went by, we actually saw the camera picked up this thing was beaming the light down. It's really crazy. I don't even know how to explain it. I really don't. It's worth taking a look at, though.
That's what makes it interesting.
Right.
Like, what in the world moves that smoothly? Really?
And quiet. Like, it's totally quiet.
You know what? I really can't wait until these things just start showing up in mass and just occupying all the skies and where it's undeniable. I mean, there's been a meteor shower the past 3 nights. I've been out looking at the stars the first meteor shower. So I saw tons of meteors, but I didn't see anything like that, man. That's wild.
Yeah. Now scroll up to there's one more I want to show you. Scroll up towards the top.
We're due for
should
a
be
huge one
one.
in 2032. We're having a torrid
Where is
mega
it?
swarm.
Okay, right there on the third one in. What does that say? I can't read it.
The arrival part
Oh
2.
no! Wait, no. Do the next one over. So the fourth one.
The arrival Tim's
No, wait,
UFO.
that's not it either. Where is it? Oh, shoot. That's not the one. That's the first part of it.
Guys, you're watching Catastrophic Disclosure Live. I'm your host, Jeremy Riss, the alien scientist. We have Gary McKinnon, the NASA hacker, with us. We got Jeremiah Pop on, Bernie in the house.
Okay.
And
It's the
what's
one,
your name again?
the one
And where
labeled.
can we find you?
I'm Game Veto too. It's the one with. Okay, it's the one on the left there with it says Gabber Beast. Shows UFO and yeah, that one.
Or is that your name on Twitter too? Let's see if I can find you on there.
My name's Twitter. I'm sightings on 18 wheels.
Yeah, sorry, you guys got to keep on me in my Twitter inbox because it gets jammed up real quick. Guys, I got
to ban from Twitter.
Hey, thank you.
That's
we got another $10 super chat in from Gunama. Thank you for all you do, Jeremy. I'm really curious if you've covered the Wilson Davis memo and Ike Shannon notes in the past and your thoughts about it. It's just a secondhand record of a conversation, right? That Wilson Davis memo. I mean, I personally was not super impressed with that as evidence of a reverse engineering program. I pointed out that the whole history of Battelle and Marconi Aerospace with the Marconi Aerospace scientist death conspiracy that still hasn't been resolved, and a number of other suspicious scientists like Robert Sarbacher and John Elroy Center and a number of other scientists who have come and spoke about these supposed reverse engineering programs and stuff in the past, including Philip Corso. So there's other claims of this that go into way more evidence and detail than the Wilson Davis memo and that supposed link to this thing, which just goes to Eric Davis. He's a guy that has worked on a lot of these programs. He wrote a lot of those defense intelligence reference documents, reports, and stuff for the U.S. Department of Defense and stuff. But he, as far as access to those programs, he might know some stuff. But
right
now
awesome if it's true.
Right, it'd be awesome if it's true and if it's real. But you know what? I think there's other avenues that we could look into that would blow that out of the water, because we know that it's hidden under one of these umbrella organizations that's not accessible by FOIA. It's in a private corporation, private institute. Like this would be a perfect place to hide something like that. So we've pointed that out before. I say that I would much rather them. If I had to waste precious moments of Congress's time and telling them what to investigate in terms of finding legacy programs for UFO reverse engineering, I would tell them to look into Battelle and Marconi, and I wouldn't tell them to bother with the Wilson Davis memo, because where's that going to lead to Admiral Wilson, and all that stuff. You got to go after the contractors and the corporations that have been hiding this for 70 years and running this cover up.
Yep. Follow the money.
Man, there is so much to be desired when it comes down to tracking a comprehensive list of authority who had each of the samples that were originally credited with starting a lot of this research, to each of the individual scientists, the engineers who had come from what program, whether it was Battelle, whether it was Cambridge, whether it was from many of the other alternatives. But there is just this entire lack of history, and the fact that it's been so incredibly difficult to track it down, but we see this crap floating around in our skies. It's hard to believe that this many years after, we still don't have solid answers. They're really hanging on to that one.
Yep.
What fascinates me, Gary, is your testimony of finding that NASA image with the cylindrical craft, and that what we just even looked at, that Skytrain essentially also looked like these cylindrical crafts, and like the cigar shaped crafts, and how they've been documented throughout history. And now all of a sudden there's zero talk about them in the official thing. It's just these Tic Tacs, which most likely are our own drones or whatnot, as opposed to these cylindrical and disc shaped, the two of them. And usually it's the disc shaped that are reported coming out of the cylindrical ones, that as motherships or something, but that they've been reported literally all the way back throughout, like time memorial, pretty much.
Yeah,
And
that's
now
a really good point.
zero
A
conversation.
lot of the older sightings did include cigar-shaped craft, and they're far less common now. And the cigar-shaped craft were always much larger. Like,
At least with
motherships,
Tesla's
as I say.
missing documents, we actually do have a bit of the custody list. We know that it went to the Department of Alien Affairs, long before we had things like CIA or FBI thoroughly established. So at least we do know sort of what happened to that. We know that after that point, a lot of the files were paper files, at least in those crates. 2 to 3 were transferred right back to Croatia and then redistributed. So, and then there was still this third crate that came up missing 30 years later, and that had to be an entire act of God through, I guess, some of Trump's family members. So we do have a history of the custody for these documents, but we have far less information about what we have far more data points on, which are these crafts. How the technology came about, who developed it, where the funding went, why we are missing trillions of dollars in programs that have no accountability whatsoever still to this day. And regardless of how much we look into it, we still can't find answers. It just seems crazy.
And the government investigates itself and finds that, no, we don't know what's going on, and we have no idea. It's just a continuous circle jerk on the American public at our expense. So it's terrible what's going on, guys. Hey, guess what? It's getting late here for me, so I gotta dip out and end this stream on my end. Bernie, if you want to keep this going,
yeah, sure. Gary, Jeremiah, if you guys got one
discussion in the background, I've been waiting to be patiently let in for a while. So.
Oh yeah, lose one, Jeremy.
Hey.
How's it going, Jeremy?
It is going well. It's been a great stream. It's so.
Dude, you look like a total freaking agent with those glasses. I swear to
God. I know. I was going for a bit of a Neo look, but I realized I've got the flip side a bit of an agent.
Oh, you pulled off the Neo look. I'd say that.
Yeah, I didn't get fully decked out, but I try. But hey,
well, if Jeremy's right, then talking about these things is rather catastrophic for their side, at least, and for the rest of us, it's just something that we've been talking about for decades now. So
right. Except when they decide to kill your family and friends, and then it's a bit of a stick in the chest. But hey, I've got a question for you, Gary. Why is it that the anonymous hackers would wear Guy Fawkes masks? And I'm not talking about the symbolism with Guy Fawkes. I'm talking about why would they wear a mask to use the computer? Now, I know what I think, but I'd like to know what you think.
I don't think they wear them while they're doing their work, if that's what you mean.
You don't think that they use it when they just use the computers on the regular? It's just in webcam sessions?
Why do that when you're in your own place?
Right.
I'm pretty sure a piece of electrical tape is probably a lot easier than putting on a mask.
Certainly. Well, but I guess if you think about it like this, the television, since I think the 60s or 70s, there has been a camera in the back of the television tube, which is why they put a radioactive sticker on the tube. And why they manufacture it. Like, I've dropped a television.
I've opened up a lot of televisions, especially
I've never
the
seen
old
anything that was
TRTs,
facsimile to
and
a
there's never
camera
been a camera
ever.
on the inside.
No.
Okay.
I've got pieces of TV sitting in a box behind me. I can show you the back end.
Give me all your flybacks.
I can show you the back end of your CRT and your 12 input primary wires, and then your 4 field control coil wires for your yoke, and I can show you your other 4 wires for your XY correction That's your little
Yep.
steering knob, and nowhere anywhere in there
What
is
could
a
that be?
spot for a camera, any kind of transceiver whatsoever, unfortunately.
Agreed.
So
Okay. All right. Yeah. I was
a lot of
just
these
curious.
things they just get polluted out there in the public, and
Yeah.
if you really look into them, like if you're part of something unique that's been going on, and you try to find this stuff online, what you find is a lot of misinformation. This is sort of like the misinformation that everybody was sold on some couple of years ago, where there was allegedly a series of TVs that they claimed were Russian manufacturer that had something that looked exactly like a fuse, because it was a fuse, but was instead filled with what they claimed to be red mercury. And then a series of fake videos were produced, which we've had to debunk on Bernie's channel like 4 times because people keep on bringing them up.
Wow, I didn't hear
Anyways,
about that
we
one.
took apart those exact same models of TV. So when I seen the images of what were allegedly these very unique and rare to find Russian manufactured CRT televisions, then I'm like, oh yeah, I took that one apart. Yeah, that's that's a Zenith. And
Right.
that was made in 1982, and I have parts from that one sitting in this box over here. And I can tell you for sure what that is. That's a fuse. That's a nice little 4 amp slow blow. And all you got to do is heat the ends to pop one side of it off. And you just fill it with a red liquid and go ahead and make big videos. So
But
just be cautious about that.
The thing is though that I mean, I remember seeing that video with Edward Snowden where he took apart a cell phone and he removed a particular chip that was doing tracking. And the thing that you got to remember is that with
Well,
like
that
the
part's
kind of
true.
right, that is true.
Deep
For sure.
Googling.
But you got to remember that with like the kind of hacker mentality, like repurposing particular parts of computer parts for a new purpose. I mean, there could be parts in a television or in a computer that were designed for one thing,
Well,
and that's what they
So
do,
there's
but it can
definitely like
be
the back
reused.
doors installed into like the computer processors. Like, right, Gary, you can
Mhm.
kind of speak on this a little bit. You have knowledge of it, or no?
To back what you're saying about this
Hardware
conspiracy
backdoors.
concept that all TVs have microphones in
I'm-
them. Okay, so if
I'm
you
saying
own
the
something called a
smart
smart
TV,
TV, you have a microphone in your TV. It's again, smart TVs contain
Right,
microphones.
it's not a conspiracy.
It's
It's part
That's
of
not
the
a
marketing.
conspiracy
listed
at all.
as
It's
the
well known. So
properties.
that's a built-in function, even if you don't have direct access to it and you can't use voice to text or anything else. Those parts are added because they cost a little about 3 freaking cents, and we found condenser microphones on a
And
lot
there are
of
plenty
smart
of
TV
people on
boards.
YouTube that have run like Wireshark over the Ethernet, watching what your television transmits and stuff, and like they've done with Alexa.
If you want the really
Oh wow,
fascinating
that would
conspiracy stuff,
that sounds really interesting.
the interesting part
right.
would be something like this. Let's consider that you have a device that literally doesn't have a microphone in it, or you have a microphone that's completely disabled. Would you ever consider that it could be possible to use tiny little integrated pings from both your Wi-Fi router and from your cell phone and from your 3G, 4G, and 5G networks to profile based on pingback time the entirety of your room and all objects that are moving in it based on the refractive index and one simple set of triangulated receivers? So this is actually a thing. They showed the idea of the technology in something they call the Eye of God. It was in a Batman movie, and they used not just the microphones and the phones, but they used a Wi-Fi ping signal to try and create 3D map outs of entire internal environments for buildings and structures and all, you name it, basically to get this whole sort of X-ray vision layout. And that's entirely a plausible technology. It's already been done. There are some YouTubers who did it for fun, just to see if they could use Wi-Fi pings, and it's even been taken to the point where you can use that signal data, and you can use video analysis data in combination with it if you happen to have a camera that was equipped with that device to look at tiny fluctuations of things like potato chip bags in the environment, or plastic surfaces, or window panes, and actually look for little light reflections, 1 pixel at a time, and from that get all of the wave data at a reasonably high bit rate to interpolate spoken word or conversations that were going on anywhere.
And also, what about brain activity?
Even the taps
Electrical
on your
signals.
keyboards.
It's electrical signals being sent throughout the brain, neurons firing, neurotransmitters being activated. They can see all these things. I'm 100% convinced of this, just through the computer, and it's not based on your webcam at all.
computers tend not to have that hardware built into them, but most cell phones do, especially things that are iPhone 13 and newer. Almost all of your Samsung Galaxy series that are newer than Samsung 6, Galaxy 6, and a lot of these things they have built-in telemetry interfaces, and for the most part, they're not utilized in this type of fashion. Certainly not by the accessible software, and not by anything that the user can ever gain access to. But things like the backdoors that are built in for NSA and FBI, stuff that you can't actually block against because they are
custom
completely hack-free access points, and they were part of the agreements from manufacturers directly with these government officials,
right?
Agencies.
It's part of the actual hardware. So there's no way you can use a device like that and not have the NSA and FBI access you in that way, right?
Right. So by getting one of these devices, you're basically accepting, terms and conditions wise that you're going to give access to these organizations and to these agencies, and literally you have to take that thing apart, and you would have to desolder certain chips, desolder certain resistors, capacitors. You'd have to have the whole schematic layout to know exactly which parts removed to disable those devices.
Just like Edward Snowden did, but you couldn't figure that out on your own. You'd
have
to be an inside person and know, because
what's worse is that the same devices used to gain backdoor access are actually part of the critical functions of the phone. So if you disable them for one, you disable them for the entirety. And these phones aren't exactly easy to modify in terms of adding a switch on the side to shut it off. It's not like the old Lenovo ThinkPads or the HP Evo series where you had a physical hard switch to shut off the mic or shut off the webcam, a switch by each, and they would physically disconnect power directly from the down converters into those devices, and when they were off, they actually were freaking off because they had no electricity to run. They don't make them like that anymore, that's for sure.
You've just got to assume there is no privacy.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, the NSA had a hand in every single open source protocol.
Yeah, honestly, the closest thing you have now is something called airplane mode, and at least that on the software level tries to shut off power to most of those things.
The thing is that's just based on that. Here we're just talking about technology. We're just talking about smartphones and laptops maybe, and there are ways for them to track you without technology. I mean, look at COVID. Novid, or what? Sorry, I didn't mean to use that word. Convid. I'll use it. Convid. Yeah, that Convid thing that happened. When they forced everybody to get a Convid test, that they sent in your data, your sample to a place that's analyzed that, and they were able to figure out your DNA resonant frequency from all of those samples. Now, if you never took a Convid test, you'd be fine. I happen to have, unfortunately, been on probation during that time, so my probation officer made me do it. So I had no option. But thankfully, that was all done with, and I got no record and all that stuff. But
I'm not a microbiologist, but I'd assume that everyone's DNA has the same resonant frequency since it'd be made from the same material.
Well, from what I've read is that every person has their own unique DNA resonant frequency. So if they want to, once they have that frequency, they can just dial in to like turn up your frequency and look through your eyes.
I think there's a lot of information out there that's meant to create fear.
Sure, yeah, that's possible. It's possible. I mean, that definitely happens. Yeah, but I've had personal experiences that tell me that that's true.
Yeah, there's so much disinfo just to create that fear.
But I'm telling you, I'm not talking about
the population. That's the whole point of the propaganda, is to make the fear, put fear in everybody. Because if you're afraid, you're not angry, and if you're angry, you're gonna rise up and do something. If you're afraid, you're just hiding and confused and feeding the fear.
Right, and I'm not talking about fear or anything like that. I'm talking. And you do have a good point. But I'm telling you that I've had experiences where I can tell that somebody's tuned in my frequency and they're looking through my eyes, and they have this reaction.
So that right there, you're talking more experiencing the
Subjective experience.
Well, definitely that, but I guess it's almost I think it's a hitchhiker experience, but it's also like a potential telekinetic sort of thing or interdimensional sort of thing, which
Yeah,
maybe
well,
not body hijacker, I guess, is what they're referred to. A lot of people talk about in YouTube land.
yeah. Well, I have. Are we live on YouTube right now? By the way.
We still
Yeah.
are.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
still
All right.
on
Well.
my channel and
So,
Gary's.
all right. So I'll keep it
Hey,
minimal
if
here, but
somebody can somebody post a Jeremy alien scientist G drive link in the chat?
The Google link.
Yeah, G drive, the Google Drive link, the archive. Do they have it?
I think I might have got that.
I don't have it handy. I have the one to our main drive, but we haven't been really sharing that. I believe there's a more public back version of it that we have been sharing access to. We had a bunch of people come in and they came out of nowhere and they deleted a huge number of files, so we had to really lock it down.
Oh, well, okay, Jeremiah, I'll just ask you for the main one through phone. Okay.
Yeah, that I'm gonna have to get that to you. Not immediately. I have to get him to actually approve it now. So
okay.
I took off. I took off as partially managing that one, and because I had submitted my files years ago, and it's been pretty much up to Darren now. He's taking care of all of that.
Okay. Well, if you can't, when you can, just send it to the number through the text, and I'll do some start researching and stuff.
Yep. Taryn's been pretty busy lately, but I can try to get him to get you on there. He'll have to approve you. Otherwise, there should be a backup version floating around that's made public. It doesn't affect our primary database.
Okay, but just whichever link or whichever. So.
Hey man, it's good to hear your voice. We haven't talked in a while. Who's this? What's your name?
Jeremy Godoy.
Oh, Godoy. Yeah. Good to hear from you, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I've been busy, man. I've been trying to get things done for finance. So
yeah,
heck
Jeremy
yeah,
W and Jeremy G.
Trying to join too.
Well, I gotta read.
I can see that even G is up late in the audience too.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Well, so
Guys,
hey,
the
last.
I just got on the road. Sorry about that.
Okay.
No worries. So, game that 18 wheel disclosure what the channel was. So yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm just quickly gonna play the astronaut audio of the UFOs during the Apollo mission. That this supposedly is.
Supposedly being the key word.
So exactly, right? Supposedly.
Is this that audio clip that was allegedly picked up by ham radio operators?
Yeah.
That's another one. I've got that loaded that I can also play.
All right. Well, this one.
Oh no, this is from the medical channel, apparently.
Don't worry. Continue your program. Oh boy, it's really something that was fantastic here. You couldn't ever imagine this. Roger, we know about that. Could you go the other way? Go back the other way. Well, that's kind of rich. Pretty spectacular. God. What is that there?
We could do some AI voice analysis on this.
That's Apollo. What the hell is that? No, Tango. That's kind of what? Roger, we got it. We marked it. Lose communication. Bravo Tango. Bravo Tango. Start Jezebel. Yeah. But this is unbelievable.
Something's rubbing me really wrong about that audio. As a music producer, as an audio engineer, as a guy who's done a lot of live shows, that audio is really off.
Yeah.
Frequencies weren't right. Interlacing wasn't right. Timing wasn't right. Tonality, there was something really off about it. It's got that, what I guess it'd be sort of like the uncanny valley for sound, if you will.
Oh yeah, sure.
And there's no
really off about that though.
Tapes.
Yeah, I don't know if I've heard that one before. There's a longer one that I'll try to get organized for the next episode, and also Apollo 20. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah,
that's bullshit. Because because there's some other Augie or something, some YouTuber that claims that same ship you can go on to like Google Moon and there's like coordinates for it. So it's like,
Are you talking about the video
Oh,
that shows the woman's
yeah,
corpse?
you got it.
That's been totally disproven. There's a
Yeah,
part
you're
of it that
talking
uses some
about,
graphics that came from a cover of a site.
Yeah, just look at the audience response too.
Yeah,
Like
eh?
everybody's bullshit meters were going off
Yeah.
hardcore on that one. It's pretty much unanimous across the board.
yeah.
There you go.
have you
Debunk.
guys seen? Have
Yeah,
you guys
music
seen
producer,
that?
okay, it's also
have you-
something
have
that we
you-
did.
Have you guys
Gary
seen that
McKinnon.
YouTube channel where it's the
Got over
guy
100
from
tracks.
Finland? He's got the name that's really impossible to pronounce, but he does all the stuff about. He talks about how the moon map, or it's something like the Google Mars map, is really. I don't know.
I know who you're talking about. Shit.
Fucking
Yeah.
Sorrento.
Yeah.
Shoot, I just saw him the other. He used to be, John Lear was a fan of his actually, and they
Oh,
fought
really?
at one time, and then were buddies again.
Oh, this guy's pretty new.
He's actually over in England. The guy you're talking about.
Oh, really? But he's got a Finnish name. It's
Oh, he does?
gosh, yeah. I haven't looked it up in a while, but he talks about cycles of history, about about how like maybe there's like this 400-year loop that we're in. He talks about the actual about how instead of being in the year 2000, we're actually in the year 1000 because the Catholic Church added 1,000 years.
I don't know who that would be. And the guy's new. He films the moon a lot, you say? Or?
Yeah, well, no, he does these YouTube videos about the moon. Gosh, it's gonna come to me in a second
So
here.
not
The guy
John
I'm
Leonard
thinking of, you'll
Walton.
never see his face. And Gary McKinnon knows who the guy I'm talking about because he's a fan
Yeah,
of Gary
John
McKinnon.
Leonard Walton. You're talking about.
Yes, John Lenore Walson's the guy I'm thinking of. Yep, you got it. He put. Remember when he went
But
to
not-
John
not
Lear's house and
Finnish.
gave John that $10,000 freaking telescope? That was cool, man.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
okay.
Good input.
All right, I'm gonna to have it for you here. I just remembered the keyword. It's crater Earth theory.
Okay.
That's what this guy's into, crater Earth theory, where he talks about how actually we are existing
Inside
in a crater, and that outer space isn't out up there. It's out over there.
Sounds
Left
like the
and
guy
right.
we were arguing with the other night here. Let me ask you something. So, what is the name of what? Okay, so if I go to YouTube, what do I type in again? Crater what?
So I'm looking for crater Earth theory. I'm
It's
searching.
flat,
I'm searching
so
it
it's
right
basically
now.
flat Earth, but you're in a crater instead of
polar.
Crater Earth.
Polar.
pole.
All
So
right.
he's
So,
into an inner Earth theory, interterrestrials,
So,
right? What you're
Yeah,
getting at.
as
it's
far
not
as
that
all
much
of those
that.
go, mine is, I believe, in trash can Earth because it is both round and flat. So, you know, like,
It's definitely a trash can.
Wait, motherfucker. We're about to scrap here. I believe in not trash can. What those trash things outside the grocery store? The four-sided bin, motherfucker. How is Earth not a four-sided bin with the
That's
two
got
flip-up
corners.
things, man?
Corners.
Come on, bitch. My people are gonna get your
Multi-dimensional,
people
whatever you
pop,
want.
bitch.
Yeah, if somebody starts to say that kind of stuff, you gotta seriously be like, if that's the kind of crap that you were dealing with, Jeremy, that is some seriously next level stuff that none of us want to be any part of, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
nobody wants a part of what I've
there's other
been exposed
channels
to.
for
That's for
debating
sure.
the shape of the Earth. Here we're just, try to avoid that because in the end, it all just comes down to a trash can.
Right.
Yeah,
And
by the way,
whether
the
it's
audience has voted pretty
lit.
well, and dismantled that entire audio clip that we just listened to about what sounded like a completely scripted bit of
totally
moon
scripted.
to Earth communication. So they pointed out, one, you have a major delay between communications from Earth to Moon. There's no reason that in an original audio clip it should have been sliced out to act as an example.
Good point.
Number two, there was obviously a lack of spontaneity. It sounded very scripted.
Totally
There was
acted.
really a lack of surprise in the voice there, and even from what was allegedly the intercepted radio from ham operators that sounded a lot more believable.
And
at the
regardless
time.
of that, there's no proof of where it came from. So if there's no
Right.
evidence for something,
But
you just have
even
to
more
discount it.
importantly, okay, so you can download from NASA directly a series of audio clips that contain that quintessential beep that we all heard, the thing that makes it try to sound like a genuine bit of footage, right? But what we lacked from that was, if you listen to the acoustics on the beep, there's a little bit of audio fluctuation as the atmosphere is mildly compressible, and there are tiny little eddies in thermodynamic currents that cause a slight frequency shift in the radio signal. So the carrier will actually cause that steady to go. It'll fluctuate a little bit, sort of like a vibrato from an opera singer, and you'll hear that in the beat.
So it has an
It's
audio
not as like a
signature.
continuous tone, right? We didn't hear
That's
that
cool.
in the voices. They were completely nice and smooth, no audio drift whatsoever, no fluctuations through the atmospheric transit. So that, I think, was the uncanny valley for me as a radio operator. It just didn't come through. And like I said, as a guy who's done a lot with the music industry and in music production and stuff like that, we didn't hear that right away. And I finally figured out that was the thing that was missing. It was the same audio fluctuation that I know was supposed to be there from atmospheric transmit.
Nice one. You've got the ear, man. The sensitive ear.
Well, the audience figured this out. I mean, there's like that. There's
I know what I
message
wanna
after
talk about real
message of
quick.
everybody else just tearing this thing to shreds. So I have to say, let's go with the masses here.
I got something I want to talk about, and everybody, I'm sure the people in here agree to talk about this for a second. Bernie, man, what is up with those carvings? That guy's coming on your channel. Is he trying to say they're alien carvings, right? I mean, that shit's worth billions if it's real, right? I mean, well, come on, what's going on, bro? Bernie?
I think he's offline.
Sorry, I'm just on the phone. I'll be right back. My bad.
Oh, okay. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The guy that has those carvings and glow in the dark and shit that are on his
Oh,
channel?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the guy that's been on now.
Yeah,
Bernie's
you were
channel
on the other
several
night
times.
talking about. I mean, dude, what do you think? I mean, come on, man. If that shit was real,
That guy
bro.
paid a lot of money for a bunch of fakes, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I think too. He said that he put $500,000 into them so far, and that he can't go and see the stuff directly because the drug cartel wants him to come over because they know how much money he has, and they're just going to kidnap him and shit because he spent so much on it. And I was thinking they're probably behind it. But what do you think, dude? When they put the glow in the dark black light on there, and then all of a sudden the stuff comes back and it's just glowing like crazy. How the fuck would he do all that
I
shit?
think I've seen a lot of artifacts, and when I looked at that, my first thought was, gee, that looks exactly like modern stuff that we've been developing in the last 15 years. And
yeah,
the glow
like the
time
crystal
and
heads
the
and
color
shit.
of the luminescence
They're
is
alien.
pretty much fucking flat on identical to precisely modern materials and glow in the dark paints
So,
that we embedded
but,
as powders.
There's a few things about that though, like with Mike's stuff at Alien Carvings there, that I really want to go down to Tula, Mexico, and actually check the place out, because there's actually a site that they've dug out, these giant caves that have the identical elongated, like identical craftsmanship, identical artists, underground caves that they're videoed pulling them all out of and excavating them out of. So it's like I really want to go check that out. And then he's willing to give us samples of his materials to get tested, because
that's how I know that Alien Carvings isn't lying.
Right.
Alien Carvings for sure. That guy that's actually supporting and posting these videos, I know he's not lying. He genuinely offered it straight up. He believes
he said he spent $500,000 so far this past year, and that the drug cartels are going to kidnap him if he goes to the place where the shit is, because they know how much money he has.
I got an idea.
Do you believe this stuff for real? I mean, it's an incredible story, right?
I don't believe that it is what he thinks it is, but I believe that it is, that he thinks it's genuinely exactly what he's saying.
So you think it's something modern carving?
I'm not sold on it. He is, and he's offered us direct samples of these high value artifacts that apparently he paid a bunch of money for, just for us to analyze them, because he wants to be basically, tested out on this. He wants somebody to verify whether he spent a huge amount of money on something that was a dud, or whether these are actually likely to be the real deal.
We got a
I
question.
gotta ask this question.
Super chat. Hold on though. What does Gary think about an ET presence on Earth?
They're here.
Yeah.
I can't believe Gary McKinnon's here. That's fucking great.
Yeah. I've met him for sure.
Gary, I've been watching you on TV on and off for the past 20 years, pissing the government off.
Right? Haven't we
Pissing me
all?
off seeing my face on TV too much.
Very
That's why I
smart
stopped
guy.
watching television.
I'll never forget when
Gary-
when television used to be good, it sucks now. They used
Gary,
to have some really good UFO programs on, but Jim Mars outed them years ago. Jim Mars had proof of the Roswell alien ghost, and they've had it on film. And the Discovery Channel refused to let them show it. It's a great story if you ever listen to it. The Roswell alien ghost, man, by Jim Mars. Jim's dead now. And they filmed this thing walking around. It literally was an alien ghost that was walking around where the Roswell Army Hospital used to be that died in there. And they would go in and film it. The people said this place is haunted. There was this perfect green alien walking in through the place one night. And Jim Mars is like, oh my God, we have proof of ghosts and aliens right here. This is incredible and all this stuff. And the Discovery Channel owned the footage. Since they own the footage, they buried it and they'll never show it. I can pull the film up.
I thought the Discovery Channel loved light entertainment.
Yeah. And this one guy was on there, Chris Bledsoe, whether you believe him or not. I used to think he was a total fraud, right? But check this out. Chris Bledsoe was led to be a fraud by me because when the Discovery Channel did his lie detector test, they just said he was a total liar. He didn't pass anything he said, blah, 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 blah,
Lie
blah.
detector
Right?
tests were not admissible in court because they're so fucking unreliable.
Yeah, they set him up. They set him up because, dude, there's been so many people that have been with this guy now, and all these orbs show up, and like if you have cancer or something, it goes away. It heals people. It's crazy because they're saying that some of these orbs are healing and all this shit.
I know one person that was legitimately healed by alien abduction.
But what I'm saying is, have they ever tried to fuck you over in any type of way, Gary?
I've only had one strange. Discovery Channel.
Because they own everything now. They own the History Channel. They own it fucking all, bro. It's a blanket ownership of all those channels, man.
No,
so you might think you're not on the Discovery Channel, and you are.
And the last time I was on Ancient Aliens, they didn't tell me they'd do this, but when it finally aired, they said some people say Gary McKinnon is lying, and they never even.
Yeah. I know they've led the crowd to believe that you were lying a number of times on the show. I didn't want to.
That sort of disclaimer, you could be like, some people say the Queen of England was a lizard person.
Yeah. The thing is, people that are smart enough that can see through this know that for one, the fucking assholes running the show don't know dick. They don't know anything at all. They don't know anything about ufology. I forgot more than they'll ever know. They don't know anything. And once you start to understand that they're just like the mainstream media, but they're in ufology, bro. Everything, your mind starts to open up because all you got to do is watch them and see what they're talking shit about. You know, it's true. It's amazing how that works, right?
I've got a story about the Discovery Channel because I used to work
please
for them.
Tell it. I was on there. I used to be on their Masters Unexplained Files show with Edgar Fouché. And I swear that all they did was interview him and I for 10 hours straight to find out what we knew.
And then just cherry pick certain clips.
No, they tried to run me off the fucking road when my nephew was drunk.
Oh, really?
Down around DC. Yeah, I live near DC. Yes, sir.
Holy shit, you're not the only person that worked with big TV production media networks and also had the serious shit threatened against.
They were going to kill me, man. It's no big deal. I was just like, hey, fuck you. Okay.
Yeah. You got to take a stand against those motherfuckers and put them on notice that they're not going to run your life. But
when you have nothing, it doesn't fucking matter. I've lost I don't have a wife. I don't have, rookie shit. All she does is complain anyway. Fuck it, I don't have. Although I met this great chick on Bernie's show the other night, and I thought she was some kind of weird bot. Her and I are going to go out on a date. She lives in my town. She's my age.
Crypto Alchemist Dating Agency.
Come on, Bernie. I was talking to her. I talked to her for like 17 hours straight. I'm like, listen, do you ever go to bed? I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I didn't go to work today. It's like,
damn, dude, Bernie hit me up.
I thought she was a bot. I'm like, listen, there's no way you're real. There's no way you're from York, Pennsylvania. There's just no fucking way. And then she sent me your phone number on your show, and I called it. I was like, oh my God, you are real. She's a pretty blonde-haired chick, man. But we know a bunch of the same people. It's really strange. So
wow, that's rad, dude. That's fate right there.
Well, that's what I said. I said, let me ask you something. How is it possible to meet on a guy's channel? We're both in York, Pennsylvania. And I said, we're on a guy in the fucking Canadian Rockies channel. What the fuck's that all about at fucking midnight?
Or she's an assassin.
Okay, so I have
I
to
know,
bring
she's
this
gonna
up.
kill me.
She's
And,
an
like,
assassin.
I've also actually met people from like Calgary where I live that have like given me actually like day jobs, like some work and stuff off of YouTube too. And it's like then I go in and I look at my numbers and it's like they claim there's like, oh, only 2 people ever watching from this city or 2 people from this city.
It's
And it's
all
like
foreign,
really
right?
there's hundreds like or thousands all over. It's just ridiculous, the censorship.
Bernie,
but-
you're so shadow banned because you're with Jeremy now. Here's what's up. There'll be 150 people watching. Or no, how is that? Hold on a minute here. You will have like, I don't know, 25 likes. And how does that
Yeah,
work?
press the like button.
I forget what the correlation is. Hold on a minute.
But you know what? I've worked in internet marketing since 2014, my own company.
Oh yeah.
And your likes, your click-through rate is generally about 5%. So it's totally
Yeah, you'll have
Oh,
more
wow.
likes.
5%. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. You'll have more likes than people that have seen your show. It'll have like 10 views, but you'll have 50 likes. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
That does. I saw that
Well,
on your fucking show. I'm like, he's fucking shadow banned, man. What did you do? It's gotta be Jeremy.
You share 65% of your DNA with a banana.
It's gotta be Jeremy.
Yeah, it's got to be 98.7.
Hey, let me
I'll
show
tell
you
you,
my Discovery Channel story here. So,
Oh yeah.
all right, so check this out. So I worked on a lot of Discovery Channel shows, Monster Garage, Biker Build Off,
Are you
my big
serious?
show.
Jesse
Yeah.
James, bro.
Yeah. He's a friend of mine. So, old friend of mine. But I worked on this show called Deadliest Catch, which was like
it's the fucking goddamn crab show. It's one of my favorites.
that was like one of the
I've
big
got
shows
Bering
I
Sea
worked
Gold
on.
on right now. Have you ever worked on that show?
I haven't. My friends have though, for sure.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But so I worked on the TV show, and then I also so on the TV show I worked on the pre-production. I bought all of the camera equipment for the show, and I signed multi-million-dollar checks and stuff, and I designed all of the waterproof housings for all of like the 8 boats.
Yeah, for handling that massive, like extremely
like all the salt water
and
just
salt water
and ice and stuff. It was really brutal. Like I worked with this guy who.
Can I ask you what years you did this?
Oh, this was like 10 years ago. So
you were back when Keith Coburn and all them were young and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know a couple of those guys actually. But go ahead.
Dude, they're great people, man. A lot of good people, man.
I knew
out there,
Keith
but,
long before he was on that show. But go ahead.
Yeah, he's got a temper, man, boy. But yeah. So one day I was out in Alaska in Dutch Harbor. And the boats had just shipped off, and I was working on the island for this period of time. And I walk into the production office, and my production manager, who's like kind of everybody's boss, she's on the phone with somebody, and she's saying, "So what happened? So how many people died? 5 people died. Man, that's gonna be great for ratings."
Yeah, that's what they say. Well, the boat tipped over right back then.
Yeah, and
there's only been a few. The Akiska too.
That's some soulless
dropped
shit.
Over last year, but go ahead. Akiska Bay. 2 years ago.
Right. Wow. Really. Well, the thing that's crazy is that she said, "Yeah, this is going to be great for ratings," and you know what? She was right. I won an Emmy for that episode that I worked on.
That happened in 2007, I believe. That was one of their first couple of years. I can look it up because they've only had a few. Listen, the last time a boat rolled was 3 years ago, and Monty Coburn lost it. Remember, was getting drunk on the boat and crying and said he couldn't go through it anymore because his best friend Gary rolled that boat over. They didn't roll it over. They left the door open in the bottom, and the waves were coming in, and it's filling the bottom of the boat up, and the pump's not coming on to pump the fucking water out. And this boat, it just starts tilting sideways. What happens is all of a sudden it just completely flips over all at once, and they all died. It was, I think, 15 of them. And they were not far from them. And check this out. You probably know this by now. Back when you were doing that, they didn't have a follow boat, right? Or did they? Now they have follow boats. Boats that follow the other boat when they're filming, right?
Yeah. That's my friend started that. Yeah.
And that's a really good idea because that way, if they have a major problem, they can jump on that boat. And that's happened already where they've jumped ship onto the other boat, getting a life raft. That Bering Sea.
Dude, I did the Coast Guard training to get in your survival suits and throw off the self-inflating raft. And dude, I've never realized how fucked I was gonna be when I did that.
Can I ask
like,
you what captains you were on, or?
Oh, I was out with Sig Hansen.
Oh, Sig's great. The Hansen brothers the Hansen. Well, the one Hansen boy quit. His brother quit. There's two brothers on the show. They don't show the one. Quit.
Well, they said three brothers, really.
Yeah, three of them. And then the Hillstrands, one of them quit and came back. Yeah,
those guys like that party, I hear.
Yeah, well, dude, you've been on with some really good people. The Hillstrands are top of the line. They're not finished. They're what are they? They're
well, Sig is
Norwegians. Yeah, they're Norwegians. Now his daughter's gonna be taking the boat over. His daughter reminds me of a tall white alien, dude. She looks just like that, bro. She does.
Hey, man, you never know. You never know.
So let me ask you something. How did you get involved? Like, dude, how on earth did you get sea legs, man? You go up there and you're holding a camera. Are you a camera guy?
Yeah. I'm a cinematographer by
like this, man. They have 20, 30, 40 foot waves. And the cameramen have not gotten their legs under them, and some of them like vomit all over the place. You come out and start filming this shit. How do you do it, man?
I was seasick for 3 days straight, and I knew I had heard that if you're seasick for over 72 hours, that you might die, and that because there are some people that never get over being seasick.
Yes.
And so at 72 hours. All right, so my rule at that time, because I've filmed all over the world with all kinds of people. My rule is I pick one person who I'm gonna trust, and if they look like they've got shit under control, I'm gonna have shit under control. But if they look like they're freaking out, I'm gonna freak out.
So what happened?
So at 72 hours, I looked at Sig and I said, "Look, man, I've been puking for 72 hours. Am I gonna get better?" And he looked at me like he was scared.
Yeah, guarantee he was. At 72
and I was like,
hours.
"Fuck, dude!" But you know what? An hour later, all of a sudden, I felt like eating a popsicle.
Your equilibrium straightened out. So what happened?
Yeah, I knew that I was good at that point. So after that, I was good for weeks.
I can't believe you're on Sig's boat, man. I met Sig one time. The funny thing about meeting Sig was I thought he was tall like me. He's fucking short.
He is.
He's not that tall, man, at all. I thought he was real tall, and she's a short guy, man.
No.
What's short in America? Because everything's big in America, isn't it?
Well, under 6 feet, I'll say. I'm well over 6. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny is that one time I was up in the wheelhouse with him, and he threw out this Pepsi can out the window.
Jeremy.
And I was just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And he just looked at me like I was so dumb. And I was like, dude, what? And I was like, dude, there's no trash can. He was like, Jeremy, let me explain to you how fucking dirty the ocean is and how all of this shit works. And he proceeded to explain to me all of where all the trash goes and where all our trash from the cities go and all that stuff. And I was like, oh.
They're real conscientious about the environment.
Man, even before all our dirt was in the ocean, it's still very dirty, bacteria-wise.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Gary.
They do a lot of fireworks, don't they, too, Jeremy? Sorry about that, Gary. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just saying there's lots of bacteria in the sea anyway, even before it was polluted.
It's funny you said that. 1 year ago, on day,
the aluminum can will just like dissolve down erode through the salt water and like turn into monoatomics pretty much.
Well, I do want to get I want to get to what Solar is talking about in terms of how these cans are going to erode. I want to get to what Jeremy's talking about. That was a follow-up to what the story was he was already telling. But let me just toss another one in there for the sake of distraction since we're so good at chasing squirrels.
What was I on? We forgot exotics. Jeremiah?
Well, you had mentioned, you were going to talk about what happens to the can, even though it was tossed to the side like litter. And Jeremy was going to go on using the story about somebody littering out of his vehicle as a catalyst to the next point. But I wanted to disrupt that and even add a third one, which is, I was driving along in my little Ford Escort.
One of the problems with you, Jeremiah, is you're so fucking smart that if one more person out in that crowd tells me when I have a fucking 102 feet riding COVID this week, I was deliriously sick the other night when I was on here and I didn't even know it. I had a high 103 fever, man. I was like, holy fuck. So, anyways, if one more person on that crowd talk shit, I'm just gonna start blocking them on the fucking thing. They were saying that I'm drunk and shit, and I'm dressed. They said that I was sitting here guzzling a fucking fifth of Jack Daniels. It was a fucking bottle of cider. Like, look how much Jack Daniels that guy's fucking guzzling.
The same trolls said that
these people don't even drink.
Dude, the same trolls said that that Jeremy Riss, alien scientist, was high as hell, and I'm sure they talked trash about me too. And some guy was like, "Yeah, music
I am high as hell on marijuana, but that's all I do." And
and see, I would have never caught that. I would never caught that.
Yeah, this is a part of the social side that Jeremy, luckily, you don't have to deal with. You're cognitively not wasting any time trying to process or analyze that stuff that we kind of notice, because each of us, we have our own PR campaign.
Hey, I want to do something here. I want to give it up for the man wanted by fucking Joe Biden right now, Gary McKinnon, folks.
Oh, yes. Gary McKinnon is back to the story, and then we'll
regimes in a row.
So I was driving around with two other people. One of the people that I had in the back seat, they decided to throw out a soda can, a little can of Coca-Cola, out my window, and thought that was perfectly fine at the stoplight right as we were about to take off. So light turns green. They toss the can. I accelerate. I hear the can hit the ground. I slam on my brakes. I said, "Who the fuck just threw that? What are you talking about?" I said, "Right side. I heard a can hit that ground. And I'm not stupid. You're going to go outside and pick that son of a bitch up, or we're not moving."
Too right.
I said, "I will wait here until the fucking squad car pulls up, because I have to pay out of my pocket as a taxpayer working a job for somebody to come and collect that thing. And you're making my life more expensive. So you're going to go out and pick that up right now, or we're not moving."
Too right.
I'm getting a picture of me and Gary McKinnon together.
Hey, so the Martian, you're sniffing a lot. You've been on the Martian powder.
Right there. It's me and fucking Gary McKinnon, bro. We don't fuck around.
Hey, me too, man.
Gary, do you still do any coding or hacking or anything like that?
Shit.
Not hacking.
Gary.
My mum would
Oh,
kill
fucking
me.
filming us. I wanted to take a picture. Hold on a minute,
I'm
Gary.
sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, that was better. Yeah, I'm filming our asses. Hold on.
Coding, yeah.
Good, Gary.
That's pretty cool.
Gary, go ahead. Devil horns right here, bro.
Peace.
Yeah, everybody. I got us all. Jeremiah
Hell
jumped in.
bro.
Holy shit. Bernie's in this motherfucker. Bernie in the house. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, folks.
Just take a screenshot, man.
Oh, there we go. One legendary panel. I'm going to quickly step out for a cigarette, and then when I get back, I would love to talk with Gary and Jeremiah about the current experiments that you guys have been working on and posting.
I've had some stuff.
Yeah. Gary, I have
there's always science happening here in this lab.
Real quick. Hold on a minute there, Jeremiah.
Solo, I've got a question for you. You're sniffing a lot. You've been on the Martian powder?
Oh, shit.
No,
give me one post. Give me one post or a photograph, everyone. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Boom. I hit this Martian powder, you know what I mean? Oh, look at you. I don't have my phone.
All right, cool. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so Gary, what did that ship look like, bro, that you saw? What did it look like?
Cylinder with rounded ends and domes that look like golf balls.
Domes that look like golf balls. So let me ask you something. These domes,
like a radar array.
Could whoever was inside of it look out of it and see space, or what are we talking about here? Or the sky if they were in it?
This was solid white, silvery white. No windows, no transparency, no.
Because I never seen any images that you drew or anything, and I thought he doesn't want to because it's
been a couple.
You gotta get hooked up with a dude like Mark McCandlish. I know
Mark's
dead, but get hooked up with someone like him.
I know Michael Spratt. He's the best artist around. He would be able to be the best friend.
There you go.
Let me show you, Michael.
He's stating that it's looked more like one of those radar domes.
Unfortunately, we only started emailing before he died.
Oh, you got the actual hard copy.
Somebody earlier was asking for some of Michael's drawings. Check this
Secret sauce. All right.
Wait. So I didn't know that. I thought he hired somebody to do those drawings.
No, dude, he was the artist.
Really? He is
you're looking at fresh strokes on these pages. Like, he was the guy that hand drew the outlines and painted them in.
So he listens to somebody's description and then draws
they
it from his
draw.
mind.
Literally, yep.
Yeah,
This was
amazing.
a real Tic Tac
McCandlish was
thing
better.
here.
McCandlish actually read the
From the
technical
Navy in the
descriptions
60s.
from the Navy, from the military, and based on the technical descriptions
It scared
alone,
the
they
shit
didn't even
out
give
of
him
them.
pictures. He
Dude.
would draw these things for magazines. That's how
Man,
I've got some really cool
he's hot
videos.
shit, dude. I since we're still live, I'll keep it PG, but I'll bet he's got no problem with the ladies.
He is now that he's
Mike's
dead.
never been laid. What are you talking about?
He's been laid to rest.
He doesn't pick women up.
Rest
Michael doesn't have
in
that kind of.
peace.
He doesn't know how to even talk to his wife.
He had a
Everybody
girlfriend at
knows
the
that.
time. He had a girlfriend at the time, and rumor around the
He
street
gave her all
was
his
that
fucking
they
money.
didn't get along very well.
Oh man.
ran
See,
off.
that's
Also,
what sucks, man.
have you ever noticed that once someone is
Puerto
onto
Rican
something,
whore.
they suddenly get a new girlfriend and then everything goes to shit?
Oh fuck
Yeah,
yeah!
I mean, dude,
Oh
when you're
fuck
paying a
yeah!
Puerto Rican prostitute, she's not really your girlfriend.
Like John Hutchins, I love him to death. We were in email contact for about 20 years.
Nancy.
I like a bitch that likes to party for 3 days.
Uh-huh.
You know? What's that?
Nothing.
Dude,
Gary,
that's the story of my life, man. I was doing real good with my film work, living in LA, and then I got with the wrong girl, and my
That's the
everything went
trouble,
to
isn't
shit.
it? Your mum
her
says
name
to you, you've
Amber
got to
Heard.
find a good woman, but
Amber
all you
Heard,
want
by
is
the
two
way.
bad ones, you know?
You're out in Hollywood. Girl named Amber Heard. Look out for her. She fucks all kind of people. And she was a Johnny Depp. She killed his dog.
Sometimes it's not even the personality. Sometimes it's the timing. You look at when somebody shows up.
Johnny Depp said she smelled just like dog shit when she took her underwear off. I threw
Mr.
That's how
Andrew
you know
Askins,
she's
how
been
you
with
doing
other
tonight, bro?
guys.
You're smoking
Hey,
that
man,
fat cigar
good to hear
there.
from you.
Sweet.
Yeah. I would offer you one, but you're on the other side of the pond, so.
Mike
Yeah.
Schratt did this
What's up?
book.
What's
You
up?
can order it. It's called The Dark Files. You can order it from Amazon. This book here will cost you. It's very expensive. He'll autograph it, but it's worth it because he puts all these colored. Where do you get a book that's got colored photo pictures in
Right.
it anymore? You
That
don't.
that,
Okay,
that took a
it's
lot of
great.
money.
Fucking, they don't print shit in China like that, right? Okay.
Mm-mm.
This book was like $60. It's well worth it. I got the Area 51 books from his friend
Man.
over there.
I just bought that They All Told the Truth for 60 quid. Yeah. I haven't seen it
they
on
do tell
Jeremy's
the
show
truth
the
for
other
50
night.
quid. And for 90, she'll stay the night. So, anyways.
Man, dude, you are raunchy.
Yeah. Well, hold on, man. Let me tell her to shut up. Shut the fuck up back there. Okay.
Seriously, like
she's
this
all
is
didn't
fucked
realize
like
this was
freaking
stand-up
really
comedy
old
tonight.
raunchy western with
Let me bang another one out.
rated R.
He's having a line on cam, man. What the fuck?
Well, Solar has never been one to be known for holding back his opinions, his words, or his thoughts.
That's
Solar
like that
Man,
guy
I
the
love
other
you
night was
already.
saying about me drinking. I'm like, I wanted to say, don't you ever insult me with the fucking word drinking. I don't drink anymore. Jeremy and me hook up in York, PA. We roll out of here to West Virginia, go meet Michael Schratt. We get down the road about a half a mile. Jeremy pulls the biggest bag of marijuana out I ever see in my life for personal. This fucking bag of weed was that tall and this wide. He's got a subscription or whatever the fuck you call it, right? I'm like, holy fuck, man! I'm looking at
Subscription.
are falling out onto the floor, and I'm driving Ed Foucher's old Cadillac, right? We're rolling down the fucking road and shit like that. I'm like, we ain't never gonna make it to West Virginia. We're gonna be so fucked. We get down there. Here comes little Michael Schratt, right? Michael Schratt weighs about 14 pounds. I'm like, what the fuck? I never met him before, right? He comes walking around the corner, hey guys, and he's this thin, dude. And I looked over at Jeremy, and Jeremy looked at me and shit, and I'm like, oh, hey, Michael, and shit. And I went to hug him and almost broke every fucking bone in his fucking body, right? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. So Michael doesn't want to come sit at the bar. He's like scared of all the construction workers at the bar. I said, dude, I'm looking for a fight. Shut the fuck up and sit down over there. So he comes over and
You could have just stood to the side for 5 minutes and waited for the wind to blow, and he would have just, flown up like a little leaf.
They ordered 2 large pizzas from the bar. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean?
Or if you looked like a
Here.
lion,
So
you could have
we were
snorted him.
drinking down there, but Jeremy was
14
drinking.
pounds, he
But
says.
Michael Schratt is very, very clueless on life, guys. He just doesn't have a fucking clue what's going on.
Dude, that was funny.
He
I'll be honest.
believes anything
Yeah,
you
but
tell him.
you know what, Solar? We're all clueless if we're in a different environment.
Yeah, I don't really know hardly anything about Michael Schratt, but I do know that was funny as hell.
Well, Jeremy and me got in the hallway finally after Mike had gone to his room, and I looked at Jeremy, and Jeremy looked at me. I said, "Dude, He goes, is he an alien? I said, dude, I think the same thing. I think the motherfucker's an extraterrestrial. I said, there's no way that guy's fucking real. No fucking way. And to this
He's
day,
just gotta
I
get
wonder,
There's no way
you know
he's
what he
real.
did? This is no lie. So
Literally.
we went to this goddamn library that was dedicated to some guy that was a goddamn child molester, for Christ's sakes.
Jeez.
We couldn't believe that was the truth once we got down there. I'm like, Jeremy, this guy's a fucking convicted child molester that we're fucking researching. He was into UFOs. His name was Gray Barker, right? Michael printed out and Xeroxed 1,800 to 2,500 fucking pages on this guy in the fucking copier machine. Had 2 people help him from the fucking library, paid him all big money. You should have seen the money. Look like a drug deal going on, right? I'm like, I can't believe this. So Michael hands him like another 1,000. That guy leaves and comes back. You know what he did? He had to go to a goddamn Staples. He bought every toner cartridge in the whole fucking building because Michael kept running out of fucking ink, dude. This was going on for 3 days. He kept printing all this shit out, all these UFO stories and stuff. He prints them out and talks about them as they're real. You know, it's really bizarre. But man,
what a maniac.
I never seen anybody spend. Michael spent, I think he said $3,500 that weekend just on toner ink. And he didn't know if any of the stories were real or not. It didn't even matter. So I said to him, I said, Michael, let me ask you a question. Where do you store all this shit that you have, right? Because he said, this is all I do, Dan, is fly around on the weekend in planes. He goes and go to places that have stuff about UFOs and pray for their fucking ink cartridges and then pay somebody to Xerox copy shit. I said, okay, let me ask you something. You know, what's going on, dude? Are you okay? And he's like, yeah. He goes, he says, I spent about $3,000 or $4,000 a week doing this. He goes, every bit of my savings goes to this. I'm totally broke. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So then he goes, I have 3 warehouses, not garages. 3 warehouses, storage warehouses in California filled to the top with, from the bottom to the top, with UFO stories, dude.
All right, so Solar, I'm talking to you as a
know the world is digital now.
Old tractor trailers.
Whatever you do, never tell him about cocaine. All right, please.
Who? Michael Schratt? No.
Yeah.
No, I won't. No, because he'll never come around again. I told him about Fenny, though. He knows about Fenny. He's like, what the fuck's Fenny? I said, fentanyl, man. That should have really fucked you up. But
hey, Solar.
Yeah.
Sorry to interject. Do you remember last time I was on here and we talked about that Amazon documentary called Accidental Disclosure or something like that?
I posted a couple of videos to watch. If you remind me which one it was, I'll gladly take a look. What's going on?
No, it was one I recommended it to you. I was wondering if you got a chance to look at it. It's where they get some of these guys, you know, that exited the military to kind of like inadvertently admit that they're part of a campaign.
And it was accidental disclosure, right? I know I watched it because I remember going from this to my computer, to my TV, and sitting here watching it. That was a couple of weeks ago.
What, like a disinfo campaign or
accidental disclosure? It was actually really good.
Yeah.
And the guys that were in it, because I remember Above Majestic came on right afterwards. Ex-CIA shows UFOs before and after cloaked. Is that the one that they were showing that when NASA would go up into space, each time it would come back, it would bring back a clear sphere that they couldn't see the son of a bitch, and then they would go to this remote viewer's house and show him pictures and stuff and say, why is this door 9 feet tall and stuff? And they found out a way to look at these crafts that were clear. Is that the same show?
No, that's different, but that's an interesting subject, you know.
Yeah, dude, they were going and bringing back these pictures of these spheres, and they found a way to put light on these spheres, Gary. They couldn't see what these spheres were, but they could catch them on radar. They'd been following back, and he actually talked about it. I looked it up. They've been following that little fucker back that's now running the world, Elon Musk. They've been following him back, Gary. And these clear spheres fly back, right? When these clear spheres fly back, dude, this is totally crazy. they change the light parameter on or whatever light they're using. All of a sudden they'll shine a light on it. They can see it, and then they'll start flashing all these pictures, man. I forget how many frames per second. And these doors are 9 feet because there's ETs back there. That must be, the doors are 12 feet because the ETs must be 9 feet tall. You know what I mean?
There's
and
a
then
lot
they
to
were
be
showing
said
it to
for,
this remote viewer. It was really interesting.
Have you guys ever
Yes.
tried remote viewing? Has anyone in here tried remote viewing?
I've
I
tried.
never successful.
I've tried it.
Yeah, I've tried it.
Same here,
I've
I've
had some
tried
good
it.
experiences with it. Yeah.
Have you
Gary,
guys?
have you been able to do it? Because you would be the type.
Yeah. No,
I've
Have you guys
been
done
able
any like
to,
training?
years.
Well,
I'm a believer in being out of your body. The consciousness isn't tied to the body. It's totally separate.
You really got to concentrate. I had a friend that was one of the best. He was really good friends with Pat Price, Warren York, and Exotic Propulsion is Warren York. Pat Price is the one that remote viewed the alien base, and there is an alien base in Alaska in the mountain chain known as what is the name of that giant mountain up there?
Yeah, it's a pyramid mountain. It
it's
looks like a giant pyramid. I've
in
did a lot of
Alaska, not
research back
Antarctica.
Yeah, I know Alaska. There's a
Mount Hayes. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And
Mount
a
Hayes.
guy
Yeah.
goes up there with another guy and starts filming Mount Hayes, dude. And they're looking, and all of a sudden this UFO flies up, and it's flying across the top of Mount Hayes. And Mount Hayes is so
I
tall.
believe that's also right where they shot down one of those supposed balloon drone.
You're fucking
things
right.
earlier
Mount
this
Hayes
year.
is 10 miles away from where they shot down that that UFO that they won't speak about. Yes.
Yeah.
The other UFO went through the earth, dude. The one I'm talking about right now went boom and shot straight through the earth, and then left this big circular thing that the TV cameras went and filmed. It's there, this big circular, there's this 8 foot of snow.
Really? So that could potentially be what these supposed sinkholes are, would be where the UFO went down through.
Or very
talking about the
tarmac.
sinkholes in Siberia, right? That gigantic ones just form out of nowhere. Yeah, there's
like Mel's Hole.
Exploding
like
out.
where does all of that mass just go? That actually kind of makes sense for it if it's this like deconstructing like field or energy, whatever.
They're perfect cylinders, no?
And the mass is literally displaced orthogonally as it moves through the solid material.
Or how about this, Burn? Maybe, just maybe, there's spaceships hiding in that portion of the Earth, and when it's time for them to, after they're done their inspection and their service is done to their fucking UFO, right? They take off out of that portion of the Earth, bro. In Siberia, there's no one up there,
and they don't have to go through any laws of our physics. Like they can traverse through water, they can traverse through mountains. They don't give a fuck about what we think matter is.
Right.
They just roll through whatever.
Yep.
I think Antarctica has a lot going on. We will never know because we won't live there.
It's the key to the missing humanity or off-world or extra whatever the heck, maybe inner Earth. The whole Admiral Byrd's legends are true, but it's not just Admiral Byrd. There's the Norwegian stories. There's
Admiral Byrd and his brother,
man.
I was just watching this earlier before I came in. That's crazy you said that, but right here's Byrd and his brother, for Christ's sakes, talking about all of it.
Yeah, he got clipped.
Admiral Byrd said his story was fiction. He said in an interview.
Oh,
yeah.
Did they force him to say
that was discovered
they
by
forced
his son.
that. They forced that.
Well,
yeah.
no. So supposed
Do you
diamond.
guys believe in
shapeshifters?
right? Do you guys believe in shapeshifters?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Right? That's a whole other different.
Absolutely, Noel. I believe in shapeshifters. Why? What's up? Have you seen one?
I'm bringing up this topic because, you know, if we
I've
want to
gained
say
30
there
pounds
are
over the past
aliens,
year. I'm a shapeshifter. Good.
you know, I mean, that's kind of cool if you are, but you know,
Yeah, I'm a shapeshifter. I will tell you that.
but if aliens, you know, can exist while we exist, what if they're the shapeshifters? And, you know, when something crashes, they clean up their own mess. It's, you know, but to us, we perceive them as humans, but really they're not. And so whenever we try to
a good point,
get
potentially that
information,
Men in Black,
you know,
could
like
be
when we
the
try to
alien
get information, you know, even authorities get stumped, you know, on the information because it might, you know, to us, it seems like a department or
I think
something.
if all matter is an expression of frequency, then any shape can be taken. And there's a lot of doubt thrown upon even our own existence and simulation theory,
It-
etc.
I would
Humans are
consciousness,
dirty.
what we live in.
And I think it's possible that aliens do not want to get near us because we are so filthy they could probably die from the filth coming off us.
Exposure.
We are dirty. We really are.
Oh
I don't
fuck
give a
yeah,
fuck if you
we
take
we
10
we are
baths a day. We're filthy
disgusting.
people.
And even if you think about the most clean person you know,
They're
maybe it's
dirty.
yourself, maybe it's maybe not, but they are still fucking dirty. And then when you
Yeah.
think about the dirtiest person you've ever met, holy good effing whoa.
That'll be
I
sold as
believe that's why they
90
don't like to abduct people.
$90 girl.
What'd you say, Gary?
That'll be sold as $90 girl, the dirtiest person you've ever met.
Yeah, I mean, I
Stay the
think that
night.
we are so dirty to them, and we're not dirty. To us, we're not. But I mean, like, we could probably kill them with a disease that we get. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Oh.
best believe for sure.
Yeah,
think
they're
there's
releasing
something wrong with
experimental
that
gene-edited pigs on themselves. We don't need to contaminate with that.
Well, there's something going on with Bigfoot
Dude,
too.
we're pigs.
Bigfoot
We
That's
are
like
pigs
we're a species
on
with
the
herp or
farm,
something.
man. Dude, we're
Well,
pigs on
I
the
would-
farm. You ever hear that story about how
We are
pigs are actually an old tribe of humans that were turned into pigs by a wizard? You ever hear that?
But that is
Because
fascinating.
pigs,
Just
Sure,
because
I
Just
believe
when I
I heard
thought
that.
it couldn't get any more ridiculous, he upped the
Because-
ante. I literally
because-
thought, okay, we've hit the peak, the echelon of how far out we can
But
get with this
no.
ridiculousness. But then no, Jeremy raises it a bar to the point where none of us could have ever predicted that one. It
Hey,
really
man.
is. I think
Jeremy's
it's
at the bar right
are
now.
a lost tribe of Israel. That is why they cannot eat pork. It is
What's
not
Jeremy
kosher
doing at the
because-
bar?
This is why at the old Jewish deli that I worked at, they did sell pork, which is why do Jewish people that own a deli sell pork? I don't really get that.
Because
To poison the
pork's profitable.
non-believers.
There
People
you
love
go.
money, you know.
But for real, I have heard that all pigs were at one time humans,
Just
and
like
a
dolphins.
wizard
Money's
or
dirty as fuck, and they'll put
magician
that shit in their pants and in their
turned-
underwear. So,
turned the humans into pigs, which is why the pigs are the most
I'm a
intelligent
pig, so
mammal.
I really
Okay,
believe
well,
that we are so inferior to ETs that they
Oh heck
just
yeah!
don't want anything to do with us because we're just so annoying to them. It's especially some asshole
Yeah, but they're
like
jealous
me.
because we have emotions and feelings and crazy
Right.
experiences.
I mean,
Yeah,
think
because
about
they don't
someone
have
like me.
emotions. They
Well,
don't have
the crowd's
emotions like we
ideas,
do.
Rasmus.
I mean, if you guys
Sitting
doom
here
our
partying
species
and
as
shit, having a great
worthless,
time.
then why do they
Smoking
come
hoes.
here?
I guess I would ask if the
Because
anthology
we're
of that
calm.
story about
Yes,
pigs
dude.
and wizards
They're
predates
connected
the
to us,
original
probably.
publication of the story Charlotte's Web.
Hey, Newell, aren't
I
you
can't be
a,
sure of that.
aren't
I
you a
can't be
remote
sure of
viewer
that.
or something? I think you said you were remote. Were you a remote viewer?
We're
I
also
can't
in the wild. Aliens could be future
It
us.
comes and goes. Yeah, I
You're
mean,
into UFOs and aliens, though, right? You believes what I'm getting into.
I-
You're a
I-
believer
it-
just like me, right?
it's not that I only believe. I've seen, I've experienced. So it's not just a
Jeepers.
Well,
belief.
that's right. You're an
Comment,
experience.
You know, like I've
talking to
actually
you. Didn't I talked to you
physically
last time you were on?
experienced
Amy?
connection.
Yeah,
No,
you're really
I've
cool.
seen
Yeah,
them.
just remember, she's showing us as an audience 3 different times on our personal request as an audience to go outside and film these things, which she did all 3 times.
Listen, they
I
like
remember
appear
she
when
was
the
really
state
cool,
of
and I
mind-
enjoy her name. It's Nawal Sajari, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm an experiencer as well.
I
Who
mean,
is
listen,
Jeremy?
they appear when
Who
there's
is?
a coherent state of a bunch of people talking about the same subject. You know, like it creates a connection.
Energy.
An egregore.
So it's like they appear when believers are there. You know, I
I'm
mean,
going to
like
say something. I hope it
There's
doesn't
a bunch
offend
of
anybody.
believers
but-
right now.
yeah.
Can I want to say something here, and I hope it don't offend anybody, but I'm a realist about this kind of shit. Why don't UFOs and why don't ETs abduct black people?
Oh snap! That's some real shit
I'm
right
dead
there.
serious. They don't.
Well, they
They
do.
fucking
Tim
do.
Buffy Hill.
I have this,
How do you
I have this
know?
argument at work
Whichever,
a lot. They don't
Yeah, but
abduct
that
black
Hill
people.
thing is
I
all
don't
bullshit,
believe
though. That's all
that's
CIA mind control.
Oh,
Barney Hill
what
thing,
happened
they
with the
don't
black
believe that
guy and
shit.
that one white chick?
Black
I've
people don't believe anything
heard of
about Barney Hill.
plenty of, or have
Huh?
I?
I'm just
Another
asking you
story.
guys what you think because the last
see,
people I know are like,
Maybe white
Why
media
was-
only interviews white people. What about
Yeah,
that?
well, why
Here's a question.
didn't the Wu-Tang
Right,
Clan
yeah,
get
okay.
abducted by aliens?
Let's-
Why didn't the Wu-Tang
Let's
Clan
do a
get
little
left
Google
alone?
search right now,
Have you
actually.
guys done the
What about
Steven
Jay-Z?
Greer app?
Jay-Z has been trying to been open to aliens for years, and they did not abduct him. Are they racist?
Maybe they did.
Well,
Maybe they did.
something's going on there. You got to think about that. Something's up.
The Wu-Tang Clan wants to know.
Maybe.
Have you guys
I don't
tried
know.
the Steven Greer app? The one that.
Yeah, but Steve Greer and Bob Lazar are the same person. They just wear different hair pieces at different
Dude,
times.
all right, I'm saying this on live,
I
on
have
live
not
stream
tried the
because
app,
I'm probably
but-
kind of real. I'm trying to risk my life here right now saying this, but
Don't do that.
Stephen Greer allegedly, maybe, possibly, allegedly, an
You know, your hand
reptilian.
over your mouth doesn't.
Stephen
He
Greer is
definitely-
like a good person.
Alright.
He does kind of look
Spit it
like
out.
Maybe allegedly
There
a
was-
reptilian, and that's not
I
me
would
saying
say-
this. I'm just
Like the Queen of England.
Yeah, right.
well, that's not alleged. That's the straight up truth.
I've got some information about reptilians.
Stephen Greer is,
I would like to hear.
you know his fucking app right on his phone or whatever his app.
It's Friday night on
You're ta-
Alien
wait,
Scientist.
wait, wait.
Always this
We're ta-
fucking crazy.
You're talking about Grinder,
No,
right?
this is
The app
after
on
hours
his phone,
on
the app
Burn
on
Eye, and
Steven-
I guess
No,
it
you're,
is.
you're
Greer,
talking
he
about
call in
the
and out
app
of guys'
on
tents and
Stephen
these fucking
Greer's
things he would
phone.
do.
You guys are talking about
And
the
then he
app
would
on
lie
Stephen
about
Greer's
this
phone. You're
wife
talking
and
about
kids he has. None of
Grinder.
those kids are his biological.
Grinder, yeah.
None of the kids are his
You guys are
biological.
talking about
Stephen
Grinder.
Greer
Why are we?
Jeremy.
is a fucking weird dude, man.
You guys are hilarious.
I know he is.
So y'all want the nitty gritty on them reptilians? I know stuff.
Reptilians are bullshit. Go ahead.
Look, but seriously, let me tell you guys, you need to know this, please.
Can you show your face, Scott?
Dear God,
So
please
check
show
it out.
your face.
It turns out that if you Google search reptilians, you'll see that some are depicted with wings, and it turns
Yeah,
out that
dragons.
it turns out that that's because they don't come from reptiles. They actually evolved from dragonflies. So they're
Okay.
literally dragonflies,
dragonflies.
but they call them reptilians.
You have
And,
proof
uh,
of
Weird because they said the reptilians feared something called they take orders from the insectoid race, and then the insectoid
I'm telling
race
you,
Ah,
they're-
yeah,
they
the
derive
dragonflies
orders
are
from the
related.
archons.
Reptilians are
which the
scary if
archons
they're
are
real.
demonic
They're
entities,
serious
they
race.
say.
So there's
All
more.
I
So
would
check this
say
out.
on this matter is that
Good, Paul.
Greer looks like if he was any alien race, he looks insectoid, if anything.
Hilarious.
Okay, all right.
Good,
I'll
Paul.
I'll cut to the chase here. There's a dude on that has a YouTube channel who he was shown on the Vice channel. He was a targeted individual, and he's got this whole
TI.
channel, a TI. Yeah, he's got this whole channel about how he's gang stalked by reptilians. And on his channel, his name's Richard Bryce or Richard Bruce.
Keep going. Yep.
And yeah, he has this whole video where he deconstructs, like it's like an hour-long video where he deconstructs Stephen Greer's videos and he slow-mos it and then does a color adjust. He'll pause it, does a color
Wow.
adjust, and plays it back.
Man,
And you
someone
can s-
fucking did that to me. And
You're
I
talking
know
about
I'm not
Richard
fucking
Bruce.
lizards.
Richard
Yeah.
Bruce and Stephen Greer or Richard Bryce?
Richard
Bryce.
Bryce, I think that's probably the name.
And
yeah.
what happened when he reversed Greer's
Well,
stuff?
so it even without
Man,
the
it's
color
JPEG
adjustment thing,
artifacting. They say, "Oh man, look at his pupils. They went slit shaped
Yeah,
in this
just-
one frame."
Just look
It's
at
bullshit.
me as a right. Just
Right.
check out this original video that I'm editing
Right.
and putting layers
but
over.
but
right?
here's the thing: is that there is a lot of shit. Like I've noticed it. I noticed it my damn self, and
Okay.
and then I saw his channel,
How come
and
you're
in his channel.
Let's
Yeah, why I know
get rid of
why
that
I'm
echo. So
Can
everybody
you-
else that's
can
not
you-
talking
can
right
you-
now for the moment, please mute just temporarily so we can eliminate that.
Can you
Okay.
do me a favor and find the videos, dude? I want to see this right
Okay.
now about Bryce or Bruce. I'm looking.
All right,
for
all right.
Bruce, I don't see it.
All right. I'll let me see, I'll see what I can do here. But I'll tell you
I've
the
done a
story
lot of
here, and then I'll
studying
search
on
for it.
Richard. I've done a lot of study on Greer. I want to see this.
Right. So I'm sure I can find it as long as his
Please do.
thing is
I'm
still
looking
alive.
under
But
under,
all right. So look up
Richard
Look up
Bruce.
Vice. targeted individuals, and he's on
Well,
that
I
video.
remember that show, but go ahead. Me and David Hilton did a lot of studying into TIs. I actually used to get my arm burnt all the time.
I am a fucking TI. I guarantee you.
So I think we're meant to be mutual.
TI is targeted individual.
Why are we getting echoed here?
Because you're a damn TI. Now show me what's going on, buddy. Show me. Find the video about.
Okay. All right. I'm looking this up on my other computer.
We only have till 9 o'clock in the morning. We've got 9 more fucking hours to find this.
All right, man. It's gonna take me another 30 seconds here. So basically, I'll tell you the story and then I'll look it up. So
Look
basically,
at Bernie laughing. Ain't this fun, Bernie?
This dude. So basically, this dude.
I got a chick over Bernie's fucking show.
So basically, this dude it's on a video called "The Nightmare World of Gang Stalking" from Vice on their YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and this guy Richard something or other, Richard Bruce, Richard Bryce, whatever. He does on his own channel. He does all these videos of like he had this one shot where he's filming with his camera and he tilts up to a helicopter, then tilts down to a cop across the street, then pans left to a security officer, and they are all looking right at him.
Okay, you got to find this.
Yeah, no,
I'm looking right now, bro.
I'm searching for this right now. I'm just telling you, man, that he has this one video with Stephen Greer where he doesn't before he does. Yeah, okay, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, yeah. So the dude in this video, I'm watching this right now too. So we just gotta find his name and then look up his name and then his YouTube channel will.
Bryce, I think is BRYCE.
Richard. Oh, see, I see him here as Richard, but I don't know. They title him as Richard, but it's something like Rich. Yeah. See, right before this, I'm watching this as
Got him there.
It's Maynard.
That's him.
He's very skinny. He reminds me of
if you roll it back like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it'll show his name, but it's just Richard. So, but it's something like
Dick.
Richard Bruce.
Dick
yeah,
Bruce.
whatever.
Okay. That's all right, Dick Bruce. I'll look him up. Okay, where'd you put the link to this video at right here, guys?
But
that looks a lot like Maynard.
Can you put the link down there for this video, buddy? I want to see.
Yeah, but this dude doesn't get as much pussy as Maynard. I'll guarantee that.
He ate a girl out from behind. She let one rip in his face and blew his nostrils off. It's unbelievable. But go ahead.
But so
then he shit himself.
So this dude
in that plane, yeah.
So this dude showed a video of Stephen Greer on his channel. And even way before, even way before he did the color shift thing, he just paused it. He would just pause it and slow-mo it.
And what happened?
And it showed his fucking throat shifting, a second set of
That's because
teeth.
he had a fucking ounce of fucking sperm in his fucking throat. Career dead. Sick fuck. But go ahead.
I mean... I saw these clips where you could see a second row of teeth in his mouth. You could see this whole tongue was.
Like, well, then we got. Come on, show me. I love shit like this, man. Come on,
all right, hold up.
Extra row of fucking teeth. I'm paying for this shit.
You got to use the Wayback Machine for that stuff.
Yeah,
that guy's an asshole right
this
there.
is already as far ridiculous as I've ever seen.
Look at the meth he's done. Looks like he's doing marriage now.
Oh god, that's
Am I the only one who's echoing?
Sometimes the echo comes out because you have two windows open, the computer and the phone.
I just fixed it. It was on Andrew's side again. It was Andrew. Sorry, Andrew. You probably have a video playing in the background. It's really bad on that end. I just muted you out and it completely solved the problem.
Speakers.
I don't know.
Gary, what's the drug scene like over there where you're at?
Set up,
You can't party over in England, can you?
I can actually probably.
What about that guy Sean Atwood? He talks so much shit. He's over there in England, that little bald-headed fucker.
I guess I can't.
You know what I mean, Gary? He's over there. He talks shit about aliens. He talks shit about being in jail and shit over here.
Dude, he was one of the first people to. He went over to Not the guy Epstein's place, but his
I believe
the
that.
female partner. What was that woman's name?
Justine
Ghislaine Maxwell. He went
or
to her
whatever.
fucking
Oh, she did.
house. Dude, he went to her fucking house and knocked on the door.
Sean Atwood did?
Sean Atwood, uh-huh.
He does do some
Yeah.
good reporting on the ground.
Sean looks
Yeah,
like a
bro.
thumb. He's very strange.
Dude,
Speaking of
he
double
almost
sets of
got
teeth, you
he
may
almost
find it
got
interesting.
clipped for that, I think.
One
What's
of
that?
my best friends, he's a laserist. He actually has a double set of teeth on the top side of his mouth. So.
Anthony, what's his telling
Get the
here?
fuck out.
It's a genetic illness, yeah.
I'm
He's
listening
got
to
a
him,
couple
knock
extra
the
teeth
fuck
there.
out.
Genetic
They're about
illness.
exactly
Yeah, right.
1 tooth height behind the other row of teeth.
That's crazy. Yeah, that
It
does
is
that
laserist.
I've
It's
seen
true.
that.
That's
Yeah,
just a
it's a
cover,
thing.
man. That's just a cover.
It's
Well,
a
Tell me,
true.
Jerome.
It could be.
Or Jeremy.
He's also one of the
I've seen some
smartest
stuff.
people I know. So
Jeremy Goody knows. Godoy.
Yeah, I've seen some shit.
We still
man.
have a crazy echo going
Jeremy's
on.
a fucking doctor. Listen to him. Go ahead, Jeremy. Tell him.
No, I mean, I've seen some crap around here where I'm at. I mean, I sent Jeremiah a video. Did you get that video, Jeremiah? Or
Yeah,
I
he
think
got
I
it.
finally did.
Before or after
actually.
he smoked your bowl?
yeah,
What
I
is
sent you
it,
it.
Jeremy?
You could check it out. But,
Is it on YouTube, Jeremy? We can watch it right now. What is it? An alien?
no, well, it's UFO craft that they've been seeing me for like over 7 damn times already in my area, but it's more like the
How
span
high are
of-
they off the ground is what I want to know.
They're pretty up there. I would say at least about maybe a pine trees width. Like, you know how tall pine
Well,
trees
that's not
get?
high at all. You know,
No,
the
it's pretty
height of
close.
pine
It's pretty
trees?
low. It's pretty low. They're getting closer. But
Jeremiah, what's up? Do you think they're real? I mean, be honest. I mean, you ain't gonna hurt his feelings.
No, oh no, I think they're real. Oh fuck, yeah, yes.
Bernie, I mean, Bernie, do you think they're real?
I gotta see it to believe it. There's
well,
a lot
put
of
the video link in the chat there, Jeremy, and we'll watch this shit. I want to see it. If it's high, if it's not high at all.
No,
we can certainly
it's
take a look at
in
them.
my file. I can't. I'm having trouble like figuring out the technical thing how to upload.
Oh, come on, they're UFO videos. You should be able to put them out at any
Friday.
second.
No one could work their computer tonight.
Yeah, well,
All you do
Jeremiah,
is put 'em in a
he's got the
fucking YouTube
video. He
link,
might
bro.
be able to know how to like do it right.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, what email address did you send it to?
I sent it to your phone. Your phone.
Oh, that would explain why I don't have an email. Well, I'm not on.
Andrew, he has
the megabyte is too much. Like it's too much
He doesn't have
memory
in a
to send
fucking
it to email.
program to even show them to us. I'm just like, are you kidding me? What the fuck?
I'd have to download it and then email it to myself.
Yeah, so like, that's why I said
Always
my
keep
phone,
it in a private YouTube file. Dude, I have a video that I can totally debunk the Patterson YouTube or the Patterson Bigfoot footage. And you can literally see the holster going up into his waistline. I'm the only one in the world that has this footage.
Oh, shit.
I want to debunk the Patterson footage. People are going to hate me, but I have it. I've showed it to people. And they're like, oh my God, where did you fucking get that?
This one's
I
actually
have
pretty
one
cool.
of the only copies known to mankind
This is
of the
actually pretty
first
good.
generation that was taken from Mrs. Patterson. They took an image of each digital fucking frame, and I got it, and you can see the hook coming out of his waist. Jeremy's seen it already and was like, "Oh my gosh, dude, that's incredible! I can debunk it. I can show it
they've been paying attention to me.
All right,
bro.
let's see what this is. Jeremy's footage off of Jeremy's phone.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I know.
Jeremy, that's the
This is
bar.
really crude. Okay, so I'm on StreamYard on my laptop.
Oh, we can see the reflected
This
screen.
video is on the phone, but it's still it's gonna be crude. But I'm just gonna hold the phone up to the cam.
So
here.
make sure
You
the
can zoom
angle is
in.
right
You can
so
zoom
that
in.
You don't get the glare.
You can
And
zoom
you can put
in
it
with
closer.
your fingers.
And put it closer to the lens.
Yeah, but you can
Sure.
zoom in. Yeah.
Like, I can't tell the secret or they'll go away.
Yeah, I'm talking so I can antagonize them a bit.
Smart to UFOs. You're not really not smart. I guess be careful what I say. You get insulted too much, I get pissed.
It kind of looks like
Look
flares.
at them blinking in and out. Look at this. So there was 5. Now there's 3.
Cool.
Oh.
I had trouble zooming in. You know, it's hard to zoom in.
You
It
sure they're
really
not
is.
these new alien dope dealers? But go ahead.
And those are not drones. Like you can
Stand
zoom in
right
with
at
your
the mall and
fingers.
sell the shit, and then take
Yeah.
off. And take it off.
You can spread the video with your fingers, like putting it on and then doing like a motion like this.
You guys can come back and pay me if I can visit.
It's up on that roof there, right? Well, you got to close it in a little bit. Zoom in, guys.
You can zoom in by doing like this. Like I'm trying to show it where my fingers are at. Like,
Bernie, did
like
you sort your
that.
new phone out yet?
Yeah, I got a better phone, but this was recorded on an iPhone 14 or 15,
Kind of
whichever,
strange without a mall.
That was cool.
There's always some kind of lighting going on in the mall, but I
Yeah,
don't
but
know
you
what to
can
tell
zoom in with the iPhone. You could zoom in on the video.
Oh,
so-
that iPhone 14 is fantastic, huh?
Yeah, but I got a more advanced one. It's like $900, so I gotta
Way
pay
too
that.
cheap to
But
buy one of them.
I got a better one, so yeah.
Bernie, did you get your new phone yet?
So I have it. I have it.
You were gonna WhatsApp me.
I have to transfer the SIM card so
Mate,
that
that's
I
a
can get my signal.
5-minute job. Do it.
I know.
Bernie, what do you
okay.
have? A new iPhone or what? I use
No,
Android.
Samsung. I'm going from a Samsung 9 to 21. Yeah, I gotta get it done. I will do it. Right? 21
I
is
don't
pretty
use my
good.
phone for anything
Yeah.
other than calling and texting and watching YouTube videos, so I don't bother getting good phones anymore because they get fucking
Oh
broken.
no, the camera and the video, the quality is
Wow.
absolutely
And the
on this.
sensors. The sensors are better.
Wow, that is nice.
I'd say,
I'm not
it's
poor. I
right
just
there.
don't like fucking. The
I
newer
guess,
technology.
21 FE.
Staring at
right?
small.
Here's
Gary, is it true you weren't allowed to use the internet for a while?
Yeah, I was banned for 10 years. Yeah,
I remember that shit. Yes, he was. It's crazy.
I remember that shit.
I know. I remember, that's funny. I remember seeing you on TV like once a week because I used to always watch UFO shit. Gary McKinnon. I'm like, damn, this guy's going to jail, man.
Dude,
You
Gary,
know,
you and I gotta
got
talk
lucky.
because
Yeah,
I've been
gonna hook up.
I've been through some real serious shit lately, and
Gary,
some
we pray
real
that you don't go to jail. They need to drop their attempts to extradite you and stop trying to charge
Oh,
you
they can't.
for-
They can't. As long as I don't go anywhere with a different legal system.
Middle
they can't-
Jeremy, since we have 7 Jeremys, are you okay, bro? What kind of trouble are you in? Are you in a drug case or something? What's up?
no,
You look like you're going to jail
no.
there the way you were signed, buddy. I'm serious. Look like you're going to shit your pants too.
Dude, I'll just
What's
put it this way.
wrong?
I've had people break into my hotel room and install
Why?
child porn on my fucking Tails USB
Oh, come
drive.
on.
Yeah,
They broke into your hotel room and put child porn on
They
what?
don't have to
Yeah,
break into your hotel room to
one
do
image.
that.
Well, yeah, okay, but they didn't have to break in.
Gary,
No, they didn't. But
Gary.
all right, they had a wireless network outside my place that I would have that they thought my laptop would have locally connected to, but it
All
didn't
we need
because I was
is to
running a
look at your
piece.
logs.
Right, but I was running Tails on a PC laptop running off a USB stick with a persistent drive. And so they had the person at the Motel 6 distract me at the front desk for like 10 minutes and
What'd
just
they
run this
distract
whole
you with?
fucking. They were like, oh, well, it doesn't look like you even like checked into this room. Your name's not even on the thing. And it's just
boy.
this whole registry bullshit. I'm like,
there's a problem. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, okay, so you're distracting me for 10 minutes, and because I asked to get some towels, so
That
I
don't sound
went.
good either. You're getting
No, it's
towels and shit, and there's fucking porn on your phone. What the fuck?
I had something similar to me
I'm
once.
serious, bro. I'm looking
Not
at this from
child
a
porn,
jail
but
side.
I had a distraction when I was out of my house, and I got back, and there's little things I used to do to know if someone had been in, and someone had been in while this weird distraction was going on. An apparent fan. Because I'm polite, I was talking to him for like 30 fucking minutes, which I normally wouldn't want to do. But yeah, got back to my place, and my little sentries were alerted.
Oh wow!
And that's what they do. Yeah, they physically divert you while they do the job, the black bag operation on your house or wherever.
Oh yeah. And that's the
Hey,
thing.
listen,
is
whatever you're doing there, Jeremy, in the middle, because there's so many of you now, stay the fuck off whatever you're doing there. Okay?
Oh,
Then
dude,
you don't have to turn the shit off where you're at. Are you still there?
Me?
Yeah.
No, Jeremy in the middle.
Jeremy.
So yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Middle Jeremy.
So I think what pissed these people off is that I was starting to write a book of about my experiences that I had experienced earlier on this year in the summer, living with this woman, and I was really just
Living
writing
with
it.
a woman?
Yeah,
pissed
and I was
them
really
off.
just, and I really was just writing this book because I'd written my own memoir. I was writing this book for my own personal satisfaction, to process memories. I'm a big journaling person. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're somebody who's dealt with trauma in your life, journaling is a great thing.
So you're
And-
gonna write about fucking this woman and it pissed the
Well,
government off, so they put porn on your phone.
It's not fucking this one, but just the
Bro,
whole
let me ask you
scenario
something. You
around
smoking a lot
her.
of dope or something? Seriously,
No,
you're
no,
a paranoid.
no,
I don't think any of this is real. I think you're losing a little bit. Seriously, cut
Yeah,
that
well,
out.
I think you'd make a
that
great
would
therapist.
Because
think
listen, the
everyone-
reason for doing it doesn't outweigh the means. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
what's with the echo here?
I guess it's me again. I'm sorry, guys.
Right.
Do you guys agree that his excuse for them doing it to him doesn't make any sense?
So
All right.
let the
Well,
man talk.
the thing is that if I was to get into more details, it would get me into more trouble. But I will say this: that when I moved out of the place with this woman, and I moved, I drove 5 hours away to where I grew up, where my folks live.
Yeah.
20 or more cars followed me, and then that night this person spooked me out of my parents' backyard, and fucking a team of 20 plus people, I think 25 people in teams of 5, were tracking me through this big public park. I evaded this whole team for an entire night, from like
What do you
9
think
p.m. to
you've been
6
done
a.m.
to be tracked so intensively? That's a lot of cars and teams.
Because they had hacked. Because when I was living with this woman, she had put spyware on my computer, my iPhone, my iPad, my
Fuck, that's
PlayStation 4,
99% of the
everything.
world.
But I mean, what's the attraction
Right.
to you?
Right. But I think because where I lived, they had security
No,
cameras
but
everywhere
what's
on
the
the
reason?
outside.
Why would you be such a high priority target
Right.
for them to be devoting such resources to you? This is a very good point by Gary.
Because I was starting to write short stories about what I had lived through, and basically where I lived was this cabin out in the middle of the woods I won't say where it is, but it was a fucking blackmail operation like Jeffrey Epstein. They had cameras everywhere. They had cameras hidden in devices. I know that they videotaped me and this woman having sex all over the place.
Why would they show them?
Well, they
you need to get some medicine, bro.
Well,
Xanax or something. You're losing it. You're paranoid, dude. None of this is real. I'm sorry.
I would say that paranoia is, important. Like, you probably need it regardless of what you do in life, even if you're not doing anything super sketchy. You, just like Gary was saying, he had, ways to detect if somebody broke into his house and those kinds of things. Everybody should benefit from protecting, covering their tracks, like you said, with tails and things like that. But we also have to, make sure that we're not losing our cool at some points. You could,
right,
just go crazy with paranoia. I fall victim to that too sometimes.
Yeah. Well, certainly, and I actually put all of I leave my emotions out of it, and I just take data. I keep track of data. I keep track every single day, my journaling, my audio records, my digital records. I back up everything.
Jeremy, do you have evidence of this Epstein style operation going on? Is that what this all leads to?
Yeah, I do. And that's actually what they're really pissed off about, is that I have records of everything, and I've backed it up fucking in a million places, and they're pissed about that. And I mean, dude, these people fucking came into my hometown and tried to kidnap me.
Evidence of what, though?
Evidence of that they bring people to this cabin to fucking either blackmail them and have them under their thumb and slaves forever, or they fucking I'm really not comfortable talking about this on a live stream. Like, not at all. Like, I've said too much already.
Well,
I'm but no, I maybe after hours we can talk about it a little bit more. But I'm not going to get into the specifics on a live stream because these people
one
are
thing
very
that
powerful.
I'm not like condoning what you're saying or disagreeing with it. I would just say that everybody, if they're afraid for their life, should have some type of a dead man switch, which means you back up your whatever you think is valuable that people are trying to get you for somewhere where, let's say, you send it a keep alive every so often, to say, oh, I'm still here. But if you don't send that keep alive, then that information becomes public knowledge. I mean, there's millions of ways to do that, but that's one way. Like, if you're afraid that somebody's trying to get you, you can secure yourself in that way. But you can't live in fear. That's just going to drive you insane. But if you take measured steps, you can protect yourself.
Yep.
Well,
session over.
It's actually a pretty decent solution.
That's a good solution. I mean, I am. I've worked with deadband switches, and I've got some going. I don't know. Are you familiar with John McAfee?
Never heard of him.
Get the fuck out! Stop it, Gary.
No idea.
So he had this deadman switch, in some kind of in some kind of condo high rise in
nobody's dead. Did it go off?
no, he had his
What was
deadman
on?
switch in a
What was
server
on
in
McAfee's
Florida.
deadman switch? That's the Can we access this? Like, that's
No,
actually a good
because
topic.
if,
Why can't we? Let's go through this.
yeah,
Well, I want to
because
see
why
what's
we
on
can't.
McAfee's deadman switch.
Well, because why we can't is because it looks like if you look up, there was a condo building in Florida that was demolished,
I live there.
and it looks like half the building got hit with a
Are you
9/11
saying
type
that
deal.
You talking about Daytona Beach, right?
That Miami
Possibly.
was the building that hosted McAfee's deadman switch. Is this what you're telling me?
How long ago, Bernie? Was this like how long ago is Jeremy in the middle? Was this like 6 months ago? It was
like 2 years ago.
Okay, but hold on a minute here. This was caused by supposedly a hurricane, right?
It was like a random
This was Daytona Beach.
Not a demolition.
Right up
it
from
was
my
like
place.
It was a random. Gosh, what's the word here? Not a demolition. It's
Insurance companies call it a God event.
Yeah, insurance companies won't cover none of this.
Right, like destruction.
Fuckers.
I don't know. Sorry
about
looked
that.
like
You lot of people on
half
YouTube.
the building.
Fuck you.
It looked like.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, all right. I got this here.
That's funny. Everybody's name's Jeremy, for Christ's sakes.
My name's Jeremy. I'm Spartacus.
Is it really? Gary McKinnon. Gary, you have a good flowing name, Gary.
Boom. All right.
In this corner, we have Gary McKinnon.
Right? I love it.
In this corner, with
he's in the center.
A gentleman who will burn your fucking eye.
Why do we have Gary? Gary, what's that? Gary, do you want to just give us a brief rundown of what you've been posting on your
yes,
technology, right?
Yeah. Basically, I've been reading about the Byford-Brown effect since 2007.
Yeah.
And there's definitely something to it. If you read all the literature, no one knows how
the B-21 flies with that effect, right? I heard.
I'd like to know anything I don't already know. I've been doing a lot of reading for like 18 years.
Well, in the private meeting last time, I brought up the material known as a lofting cake. It was in T.T. Brown's notebooks that are now up on his family website and also on Rex Research. And lofting cake was the quintessential piece inside the saucer-shaped craft that he was developing, where it was able to take the vector force of ionic thrust and with the simulated pulse that was provided by the exciter transformer being blasted into the lofting cake sandwich material, mainly created what he called gravitational isotopes, opposite of inertial isotopes, that they would lose a huge amount of mass, they would envelop a very large field surrounding the entire craft, and that its inertia
English,
could
for Christ.
effectively be reduced significantly, so that it would take a very small force vector in order to propel this thing incredibly fast. And this was the final thing that he added to the two crafts, the two saucers that were on the balance beam that could circularly rotate sort of in this torque and balance way, but they'd fly out like a
Yeah, and apparently one that even levitated.
So, the dual disc demonstration, right, that he showed the Navy Admiral. Well, that was the final thing before all this went blacklisted. And the discovery of the lofting cakes that he had separated out from bentonite clay, from tantalum, from tungsten carbide, and from a variety of other materials that he found were ideal for this particular application, had a high odd nuclear spin isotope ratio as compared to naturally abundant materials. And he was able to separate these things out based on their charge when they are being kinetically excited or perturbated. Some of them were photonically responsive, so if you would shine UV light source on them in high concentration, then you would end up getting these particles actually separating out and lofting directly off the net mass of the material. This was one of the things he noticed in the bentonite clay and in some of the Sahara desert sands. And then there were other materials that could be kinetically oscillated, like, for example, the tungsten carbide, or materials that could be electrically excited when struck with an arc, like the tantalum. And certain percentages of that powder would actually be gravitational isotopes containing an odd nuclear spin isotope ratio, and they would rise up off the rest of the material, being attracted towards the cathode or towards the anode, depending on the polarization of what he was striking it with and what he was looking for.
That's the strange thing, isn't it? The attraction depends on the topology, doesn't it? It's not always towards the anode, or always towards the cathode.
Exactly.
Right, well, it depends. Like the 30 depends exactly on whether the isotope has, one too many or one too few protons or neutrons.
Yeah. That's deep, man. I'm a bench guy. I'm not knowledgeable about physics at all. So I'm all about what I can see and feel on the bench. And all I've done so far is used glass as a dielectric, aluminium plates for the capacitor, both symmetric and asymmetric, weigh between 50 to 70 grams. I've used nitrile rubber as a dielectric as well. And I've used Faraday shields as well to make sure the digital scales aren't being affected, and got between 0.22 and 1.4 grams weight loss. But the latest thing I'm trying to do is make a nice flat disc. And thank you to Michael Perrone for nudging me in the direction of CCTO, copper calcium titanate, which I bought in like an almost nano powder form.
You mind showing again?
But making a fucking solid
we got your full screen now, so show that again. We want to see what Perrone sent you, because everything that Perrone sent is awesome.
Oh no, I made this. Perrone just told me to use.
Sent you in the right direction. Gotcha.
Yeah. I was going to use barium titanate, but he said no, go for copper calcium titanate.
That's CCTO that you're holding there. What's the binder?
It is, but yeah, I didn't use a binder. This is just a pure melt, because the binder also needs at least 90 megapascals pressure, which is
a melt. Well, considering that starts out as a brown powder and now it's turned this very chalky gray.
Yeah, but I think it may have absorbed some graphite from the crucible, so I have to be careful.
Hey Jeremy, I accidentally got kicked out of the StreamYard thing. Can you let me back in? Please.
Dude, you're in already.
All right. Thanks.
Bye. So I'm just trying to get a nice flat disc, because that's too rotund in the center and won't do well with the plates. And what I'm aiming for is 8-hour heating, whereby you can apparently raise the dielectric constant, to 280,000, which is just fucking crazy. I mean, they call it huge. It's more than huge. It's phenomenal. And on paper, I've done some basic maths. Even with about 5,000, the thing should float, but that's as far as I've got. Just a small weight loss.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like, just to geek out for a second, look at Jeremy Walter's video. No, change it. Go back to how it was. Now that I just brought attention to, shut that light back up.
Mm-hmm.
Get back off. It was cool. It looked like just these floating eyes. I caught it. I was like entertained by the moment, because sometimes you see, artistic fascinations in the littlest things, and I thought that is super
interesting. It's eye shine.
Right?
Right, I know it's a reflection from his display, but it looks like eyes, and it makes it super interesting.
He's drunk and he's got fucking
videos are so easy to
like this
fake.
because they matter. You gotta see that
It's,
in the
it's
science.
two,
Like,
it's
What's
two
going on,
cigar-shaped
exotic propulsion,
UFOs.
is he's fucking drunk because he's got people putting shit in his computer. Jeremy does. He's fucked up in the head over it. I'd be too.
well, she has
Poor kid is fucked.
Exotic
Look at him. He's
propulsion.
fucking looking,
She
doing
don't put it in
backflips
it
and
'cause
shit
he's got
in his
no
living
room.
room. I
He's
can't
got no
believe
room
it.
for shit. It's fucking loaded, man. My
doing
computer constantly
fucking
gives me
flips
your
and
hard
shit.
drive is full messages. So,
If I caught a gremlin on my computer putting shit on, I'd fuck him up, man. I wouldn't hesitate.
Fuck that gremlin up.
Hey
Look
guys,
at him.
can I add something about the anti-gravity?
Well,
Hey
hell
man,
yeah, Paulie.
thanks
yes,
for bringing
now
me
you're
back
talking
in.
my language.
That's
That's
right.
what I really
Good,
came for.
good, Paulie.
Hey, can somebody pull up like a Google image of Coral Castle, the bricks? Because I want to show you guys something that I know will blow your mind.
Coral Castle.
You know,
I've
we
been
can give
into
you
that since
we can give you
95.
screen access. There's still enough slots where you can actually share your screen, and we can put you up for whatever you want to share.
I've got to go and steal some more of my girlfriend's cigarettes. Back in a sec.
Oh, can I have one?
Man, I'm on my
Looking
cell
up.
phone. That's why.
Oh, that makes it really
Jeremy
difficult.
Walter, you are not from the Pennsylvania area, are you?
No,
Bernie might be
Michigan.
able to do it.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
So basically,
that's only a 9-hour drive, man.
Well, Walter without an S on the end of it's pretty common around here. I know a bunch of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
Dude,
just
that's
wanted
crazy. You go and hang with Michael Schratt, dude. He's a fucking legend.
Bro, I used to hang out with John Lear. I hung out with Mike Schratt. I hung out with everybody. Edgar Fouché was my best friend. I knew everybody, man.
Right.
And like,
Okay.
dude, you
We,
freaking
you and me, we gotta trade numbers or something.
I'm in my
offline.
50s, bro. Huh?
Check it out, guys. Check out what I uncovered about his rocks. He was doping his rocks. Choose any photo of the rocks and zoom in, and you will see that they're all perforated. They have a hole right down the middle. All of them do.
What is he put? What is he doping it with? Silver? What is that? Looks silver.
No, it was acid. He was breaking them apart with acid down the middle.
Wow.
Was he doing it to charge them?
Yes, because when you mix acid with water, it creates heat.
That looks like concrete.
But I really want you to see it, and you could even see that they're stained. So that's why I never understood why nobody caught on to that right away. It's like obviously
Bernie,
he was doping them.
Sort the images that you're searching for by resolution, so that you get the highest res ones first, and that way you'll be able to zoom in to a high degree and take a look at the shading that he's trying to refer to here.
Look at the hole on that one. They all have holes. Just zoom in and you will see the telltale sign.
Can you tell me what are you looking for in the hole?
He would drill a hole down the middle to pour the acid, and guess what? I found a video from 1990 on YouTube when I was up all night one time researching it, and this man found that there was a broken lip bottle inside of those holes, and he had a flashlight and he was looking down the hole and everything of a specific rock, and he found out. So that tells you that he was putting a bottle, sticking them there. Probably did it during the day so it could get all soiled. And plus he also talks about that in his books that he left. He would say soil the girls. So they were his girls, and he would soil them.
What was the point of the
There's also the possibility too. One would possibly argue that with so many people visiting that destination, they might have had a bottle that they tried to use as
there were so many
No, but this guy clearly says that it was in there.
They all just love soiling girls. All of them love soiling girls. All the people visiting
What
this
is
location.
that all about? Soiling girls?
He was giving a secret that that's how he was levitating the rocks. He was changing the density.
These analog make a video. We should go there and make a video about it and post it on YouTube.
He was working on it at the very atomic level with the acid because it breaks it apart. And that guy Vinny Vincent, who has a YouTube channel dedicated to him, he actually shared a newspaper clip from Florida that was taken of Edward Leedskalnin, and he does talk about acid, and that's when I knew that I was right on his trail. So he was definitely doping them.
Speaking of Coral Castle, this is so relevant right now.
This
talked with
is
Vinny St. Vincent
Coral
on the phone
Castle,
several
dude?
times, and Vinny's a great guy. He's like dedicated to sort of the core research, and he's got a very
Look at the yellow. Look at the mustard yellow on the rocks. They're stained. That's the kind of stain that you get when you work with that acid from the battery. What's it called? that battery acid.
It's called sulfuric acid. That's
Sulfuric. There you go, bingo, that one. And he does talk about using that in a very rare what do you call it? Very rare interview for a newspaper that only Vinnie Vincent has, and he actually shared it online.
I wanted to mention too that it's just kind of exciting. There's a guy that wrote a book about Coral Castle, about anti-gravitics, the physics associated with it. Now he just re-released the book in a preliminary version that I'll be reading through pretty soon and just going through. But if he's now running this as sort of a prelim to have it reviewed, 135 pages, he talks about the entire construction of Coral Castle, some of the physics that would possibly be involved, and then he's also done some deep investigation into the Stan Dale flying wedding cake, also known as a Stan Dale lifter platform. And so he's constructed several of them. He's now constructed 4. I've tested all of them.
Have you ever been down there, Jeremiah?
No, I never felt the need to go because of the full investigations that have already been done on behalf of certain questions that I'd asked. And
I think it's bullshit, but don't take it from me. I think that we've got a positive on the bullshit there, but I could be wrong.
Zoom in on those holes
with systems of levers and everything conventional. So I understand that, but I also see that there's a lot of other odd stuff going on. And why did the guy write a book on magnetics? So it's the whole lore. I mean, it was one of those things that it was created as a
I forget what Jeremy and me busted him on. It was pretty big.
Look at them yellow stains though. They're all stained. They have that yellow sulfuric acid stain on them. That's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but what's that proving, man? It's proving that they were proving that something was it atomically attached to the fucking rock, like you were saying?
Exactly.
Well, there's actually a much better reason, guys. If you really wanted to know, and this was found to Egypt. There are different acids, so many different acids can soften stone. It's been well known that if you soak them, you can totally soften the stone. A nice dip in the Nile in Egypt will pretty well wash out residues of wines or other things that were used to concentrate acids. But yeah, sulfuric acid is a nice one because it'll soften the stone up. You could actually carve it by hand with direct pressure. You won't even need a hammer if you thoroughly soften the surface of the stone with the acid. And so you can shape it into many different structures and do it
alkalines too. I have another theory because I've also been that was my own research that I did, but I also noticed that he had his so-called barbecue pit. But I'm a barbecuer myself. I've been barbecuing all my life, and I know that when animal fats fall on any surface, they'll stay there for years and years, especially if you use it over and over again. And his barbecue grill has no spots. So what I think he was doing was he was also getting hot rods, heating them up, and then putting them right down the hole after they've been soiled, causes another effect that he might have actually been levitating them like hydrogen balloons with immense heat. So I mean, it makes a lot of sense because he did get he got spied by 2 kids, and that's exactly what they told their parents. They could have sworn he levitated them like hydrogen balloons, and he also moved the park once, and he rented a truck. And when the guy dropped the truck off to his place, he forgot his lunchbox or some personal item. He came back 30 minutes, and the rocks were already mounted onto the truck, and so there was no tripod in view. So obviously he knew how to get that done towards the end of his life. He was more of a master at it.
I'm going to bow out, guys. It's 5 a.m. here, so good to talk to you.
Yeah, I was going to probably shut it down.
You're always an epic guest. I mean, you're a huge name. You're the reason why a lot of people came on today in the first place. So thank you for being with us, sticking with us, hearing the crazy conspiracies of today's absolutely wild and ridiculous show as it became. But, obviously, you're a team player. You clearly stuck with it through, and you didn't mind hearing the wildest of wild. So, that's awesome.
That's awesome. The Queen of England is the reptile. Brother. You got to come to, no, you can't come to the United States, but man, when you get the right president.
He's joining us digitally.
We're going out Bigfoot hunting, Gary. We're taking you with us. It's going to be wild. We're going to go to Radium up where Bernie.
We've got many reports of Bigfoot in Scotland.
I know.
And some of them from expert mountaineers who are very sensible.
You guys have some of the best mountains over there too. And some of the places over there, like Scotland.
Everything I've heard about Bigfoot is that dude is super cool and super intelligent and also very fuzzy. So
there's a legend called the Big Gray Man. the big grey man of Ben McDoon. Ben McDoon is a mountain in Scotland. And
Fuzzy
what about
balls?
little gnomes and stuff? You guys have little gnomes there, just like Nome, Alaska. You guys have there's always been sightings of little people over in the UK. Always.
Yeah, like that too. Yeah.
In the countryside location.
And the demon dog, or
I swear I experienced
dog,
something like that this summer, although I was
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bernie. Bernie, imitate the noise it was making when I went.
Anyway.
I can't.
Peace out.
Hey,
Please,
Gary,
Father,
I put my email in
I'm
the.
gonna do my homework and I will
I
have
put my
signal
email
up
in the
so
chat
we
here.
can talk.
Can
Burn
we,
eye.
Let's
in
try
the
one
chat
more
room?
time.
Jeremiah's got my contact
Okay,
details.
everybody.
Okay, all right.
Everybody,
Gotcha.
let's pause for a second.
All right.
Let's try it
Say
one
bye
at a
to
time.
Gary.
Gary's got a few